रहो हर पल फैशनेबल with Amazon. Download the app now.
तू खुल, तू खिल, हर पल तू खुद से मिल. 1,000 plus top brands, 9 lakh plus latest tires, 30-day returns. Amazon, हर पल fashionable.
Okay, let's do this thing.
We are ever so close to the SA Championship. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the grand finals, the final day of the PMPL South Asia 23 as we get into day number 3 and the final 6 matches are remaining that decide who gets crowned as the ultimate champion of this tournament. I'm Fixes, joined along by Shadow. So Shadow, tell me, we've seen a few teams performing really well. Yesterday we saw Skylights Gaming getting 3 chicken dinners out of 6. So coming into the final day, how excited are you and who do you think is going to take the ultimate prize?
Oh, it's so very close between the players of NB Esports and DRS, and like you pointed, Skylar's Gaming getting back-to-back 3 chicken dinners. If they replicate the same performance, we never know. Anyone can topple over DRS or NB Esports. Anything can happen. The race for the championship is getting more interesting and intense.
Oh, it certainly is. You know, it's like the final hurrah tonight for all these teams. We know there are a few in the bottom 8 whose chances of making it well to the top 12 are looking a little bleak, but they will surely do it. But let's take a quick look at the prize pool. Yes, $80,000 is on the line, out of which the first position gets $7,500 and so on reduces. We've got a separate one for the MVP as well. That's $1,000 and we've got top leading the charts in that one. And taking a look at the point structure, it has been you know, just recently introduced in the realms of PubG Mobile and has been changing the dynamics ever since.
Oh yes, this time it's the elimination points that are of utmost priority, and all the teams, they have adapted themselves pretty much to the recent point structure. Now they're focusing on the elimination points rather than the placement point. But still, if you get a chicken dinner, you get 10 points. If you come on the second position, you get 6 points. And in the overall ranking, we have NB Esports. After having a very consistent run on both the days, they're sitting on the top with 161 points, and DRS Gaming only 8-point deficit. So anything can happen. Maybe DRS can topple over NB Esports, or maybe Stalwart or 4MB. They can finally start stepping up.
Oh, they definitely can. I mean, right now the battle is between the top 4. If Skylights Gaming or maybe IHC or maybe Mavtex, any one of them gets 2 back-to-back good games, then I think we might have a few more teams in the race for the top spot. But then again, we have another storyline where it is the top 12 that qualify for the SA Championships. So Sitim is kind of sitting comfortably at least for now. But dead eyes, guys. I mean, 1 or 2 good games, and same goes for Kunyo. Then things might start changing. Sealy Sports, Raw Officials. Well, we did see Raw Officials you know, get really close to a chicken dinner in the final game last night. But yes, they've got to do, or rather replicate more of that even today if they have to keep their dream alive to play in the SA Championship. But a quick stat comparison of Skylights Gaming, how they performed in day number 1 with the day number 2. So you could clearly see the graph that's completely gone up, and Skylights Gaming pretty much had been the best team yesterday.
Oh yes, totally agreed, 100%. In terms of the elimination which they were getting, the previous elimination ratio was 2.2, but it suddenly jumped up to 5.8. They were more towards the aggression. Even in the very first game, they managed to get 11 elimination. Yes, they didn't get the chicken dinner, but later on they went ahead, got 3 chicken dinners for themselves.
Oh yeah, I mean, those 2 in the Sandhawk, and to end it all, that Wrangle fiasco, which we absolutely loved, right? The way you know, Skylights Gaming was playing, the kind of you know, patience they showed, and all their decision making was clearly on point. And this is where, you know, you could see all these players being so happy about it, and it was much needed for a team like Skylights Gaming, who sort of lost their old glory, right? It's kind of a redemption arc going on for the Nepali team. But yes, the battle overall is between 4 teams right now. That is DRS, we've got NB, Then we've got For Miracle Vibes and Starward Esports. Now, Starward Esports have been in the contention, just considering the fact that they had gotten so much of those bonus points. Haven't seen anything flashy out of them, at least as of now. The final days, the final games of Erangel have gone in their favor, but this is one of those teams that has also been impressing us with their performance. But from day number 1 to day number 2, we witnessed a slight dip, but still, I must say, they're holding off pretty well.
In day number 1, NB Esports, they were able to get one chicken dinner in the very last wrangle, but on day number 2, no chicken dinner. That's why there is a certain dip. But in terms of the elimination points, in terms of the performance, they were performing really good. Even in the first Miramar, they came on the second spot. The second Senok also, they came on the third position. So yeah, NB Esports, they have been having a very consistent run.
Oh yeah, I mean, one thing for sure, right? Yesterday we did see Sek even stepping up to the occasion, and we did kind of highlight how important he was as a member of the team, right? Whenever, you know, it's something or the other happens to Mondo, Office Boy, he has always been one of those players who kind of holds the team together, right? So I'm kind of waiting, or rather excited to see more out of Sek and how he performs tonight. But at the same time, you know, speculations will be on DRS as to how they're going to be playing, how they're going to hold on to that top spot. They've been really consistent. But taking a look at the schedule, a quick one. So it's going to be Miramar, Sanok, Erangel again. That will be repeated once more. So 6 matches to decide the fate of these teams. And only the top 12 folks qualify for the SA Championship. And whosoever gets to be the winner takes home $7.5 thousand, the lion's share of the $80,000 prize pool that we had. And we also get to find our MVP, out of which I think our top is apparently leading the charts, and quite deservedly so, because he's one of those players who has never lost form, has he?
Oh, he never lost the form. Yes, in the league plays also, he was the top contender for the MVP race, where East from the side of 4MV was also giving him tough competition, but this time it is only tops, and now the dreaded moment of the day, prediction time fixes.
Yeah, for me, I think I've come I have you know, come here deciding my predictions already. It's going to be raw officials throughout, you know, all 6 games, raw officials. And I would urge you, Bhavna, to go for Seal. I mean, we would want to see a little bit of that masala brewing up at the bottom half of the table. What about you?
Okay. My prediction goes for Seal Esports.
All right. So, to our you know, humble request to the production, I mean, just lock it in for the remainder of the games, because we're not going to be jinxing the teams at you know, the top table. So it's better that we keep things down below over there. I mean, if you know, Raw or Seal win, then we're gonna get those one prediction right, for which I'll be really happy about. Yes, you can see that. But yeah, I think it's now time to come back to Miramar, right? Miramar has been one of those maps where the Mongolians tend to dominate a lot. But yesterday was sort of a different story. Yesterday we did see high voltage, you know, absolutely electrifying the opposition. I mean, the way they were playing. So I kind of, I'm really looking forward to them today, because just barring that one game and those early fights that they engaged and kind of got away with it, in the mid game to the late game, the transition has been really difficult.
Yeah, 100% agreed. High voltage, they have stepped up big time in the grand finals yesterday. In the first Miramar, they got a chicken, and even in the second Miramar, they came so very close, where Assassin was on the lower ground and 4MV East had the height advantage in a tree trunk. So he got the chicken dinner. But yes, high voltage, that could have been a second chicken dinner for them in the map of Miramar. So in Miramar, high voltage is definitely a team to look out for. But 4MV also, and Stalwart, they are caught in the rotations, but 4MV, they are lucky in terms of the circle we have been having these days in Miramar. So yeah, 4MV can also be a team to get a chicken dinner.
No, just hoping so, right? Hoping that could be the case. For Miracle Vibes, yesterday the final Miramar really went down to the wire. It was an intense 1v1. I think it was Apex and Assassin, if my memory serves me right. But what's happened in the past has happened. Shadow, let's just head in to a fresh new day where all these teams are going to be trying their hands out, and let's see what happens. The flight path trajectory all the way from Los Leones towards Torre Moda, and yesterday we had some similar you know, circles. Today is something I want to witness something happening maybe around Los Leones. I mean, it's I think been ages, and it's not even been on a single instance where we could witness a Los Leones zone. So I want to see something like that happening because Illuminate crew day one they were amazing. Day two, number two comes in and somewhere down the line they kind of vanished.
Yeah, they had only one good game. That was also the first Erangel of yesterday. Yeah, day number one, I8, they got two chicken dinners. So I8 are also looking for that contestation of the top spot in the overall leaderboard. And if the circle goes towards the side of Los Leones, well, I8, they are going to be very happy. But the chances are very slim because time and time again, we have been having either a circle towards the northern side or a circle towards Chumasera, where 4 MV drop in. So this time, really hope something different comes in. A complete southern eastern circle. Even the players of TRZ, they need some points. And if that happens, I think a southern eastern circle is something TRZ should be hoping for. But at least, okay, it's somewhere close to southern east.
I'm happy. I'll take this, right? I wanted a Los Leones zone. I've gotten one. And this sort of kind of opens up to a lot of possibilities, right? There's still, Picado Hills in contention. Then you've got the areas of Minas Gerais or La Benedita, where we've seen those circles take those shifts. There have been those rare occurrences where we kind of witness the circle going a little southeast of Chumacera over the hills. And that is going to be a treat for all our viewers. But as of now, it's going to be the usual, drops for all these teams. For Medical Vibes, they've dropped down directly a steep drop for them, and I think they're going to make their way towards Chumacera pretty much sooner or later. And Raw, Yeta Utas, Odi, these boys, yesterday, the final game was something to be remembering, something that was worth remembering, right? And today, I'm going to expect nothing less from them. I just want to see them go all out, engage in those fights. You never know, one step at a time, and if they keep on hitting, there will be a point where they might succeed, right? Where they might pose a threat. But if they kind of fluster up in the first 3 games, then the chances of making it to the SSC is pretty much done and dusted.
Chances are that they won't be able to qualify because this day is so very pivotal for all the teams who are on the bottom, like Seal Esports, TRZ, especially the plus of Raw officials, because Raw officials, they need too many points. There are 25 points deficit from the team sitting on the 12th spot. That is going to be Sitim. So they need too many points. They need to replicate the same performance. Yes, yesterday we did see a fantastic performance from the side of Yeta Uta. In fact, Yeta Uta was a guy who was performing really good even in the league plays from the side of Raw officials. On day number one, there was a certain dip in his performance. He was taken out pretty early in the game. That is why Raw lads was struggling a little bit on day one. But finally, Yeta Uta was able to find those initial openings onto the opponent, and that is where Raw capitalized. Now they have to be so very cautious. The split that is coming from their side, 2+, so close to the plus of 4 MV. So Raw, they need to be a bit cautious right now. But IHC, talking about this team also, yesterday they did have a very good game in the one of the Senok. But other than that, I think IHC were also missing yesterday.
Yeah, I think IHC, they kind of engaged in a lot of unwanted fights, right? They were forcing a lot of fights, and eventually there were teams that could just take them down there. And that Sanhok game, if you remember, right? They were doing so good. They kind of wiped out for Medical Vibes, and then they decided to go after Kunyo TRC. And we saw what happened to them and how easily they were kind of destroyed there over there. And it was Degree who did majority of the damage out there. So that's definitely one thing that IHC really needs to watch out for. In fact, instead of being the aggressors, just hold a good point and just try to defend with all your might, and that might yield them some good results. Because considering how they were playing in the first day, I felt like yes, this is a team that could contest for the top 3, but they kind of have lost their grasp out of the top 3, right? So today is the day where they have to again, kind of start afresh, again start building up those points and take fights in which they can control the situation. Another one of those instances was I think the map of Miramar, the second one where they decided to barge in on T2K, and we all saw what Jane did to them and what happened, what followed suit. It was DRS, it was Skylights Gaming, from the backlines for Medical Vibes, so many teams. I mean, I kind of love the love actions like that But right now, who we have in front of us is Team Star Wars Esports, a team that a lot of people thought would have no difficulties winning this tournament. But yes, in the league stages they were looking really sound, but in the grand finals hasn't they haven't really opened up, right? Every single time we see, they've win a few early fights, and then while transitioning it's been the same old story all over again. They lose out on two of the players and they have nothing to fight for. I think we finally saw Starwood Esports a decent performance in the final game of Erangel. Then they decided to push in on Raw, for which they were so well prepared and fended them off.
Yeah, but that tends to happen, Pixels, when you are the top team in the league plays. You have so many matches here in your hands. Even if you try to bring something out of the box, your opponents, not just one, all the teams in the lobby are reading you. Their analysts, their coaches are reading onto your strategies. They are coming with the counter strat, and that is something that is going to come and bite you in the back in the grand finals. That could be the reason where 4MV and Stalwart Esports were struggling a little bit on day number one. 4MV, finally they have recovered. They are capitalizing on those elimination points. They have started getting those chicken dinners. But in league plays, it was Elementrix that was a team that became an ugly thorn for the players of 4MV, and this time it looks like it is the players of IHC, because it's not just one or two times. So many times we have seen IHC and 4MV go up against each other, or actually 4MV barging into the compounds of IHC time and time again, where IHC, they have always been prepared. They were anticipating kind of the players of 4MV. So yeah, that is something also that you need to work on. But talking about other teams, Leo Esports, this is a team that stepped up big time yesterday. They got a chicken dinner for themselves in one of the Erangel. The second Senok, they came so very close, where the players of Skylar's Gaming got the chicken dinner, but still they had very decent amount of elimination points in their hands. They came on the second spot. So Leo Esports are also amping up their gameplay day by day.
Yeah, I think Leo Esports is a squad that has has had a better graph compared to the remainder of the teams. Barring the top order teams, the teams that are in the top upper echelon. So I think I've really liked how they've been playing lately, how they've been progressing over time, and yeah, get a few chicken dinners, and they're quite comfortable also at the spot they're holding on to. So right now, what their immediate objective will be, of course, to kind of make sure that they're getting into SSC, because the kind of battle that is brewing in the top four. I think somebody needs to really rack up at least that 20 points or 25 points advantage in the first three games, because if they do not, in the final three, we will see the teams at the bottom half of the table. They kind of start to get a little more aggressive, so they do not hesitate in taking those fights, and at time they can be really dangerous. And this is one of those circle shifts that I said, one of the rather uncommon rare occurrences, where it kind of tends to go a little down south, and Raw have the optimum control over the map as of now. All they've got to do is find a good hill to find cover and just sit there, watch all these teams rotate, watch everybody fighting around them, and replicate something like what they did in Erangel yesterday. I'm not asking for a chicken dinner, but if they can use the altitude to their favor, if they can get a few more kills here and there, and kind of end with 10 12 elim points, and then maybe get a second or third spot, and if they can continue doing that, Shadow, then their chances of making it to the SC Championship will be real.
100% agreed, because look at Sitim Esports. They are coming from the northern front, and so many rotations are happening. So for Sitim, this game is not going to be that easy. On the other side, Raw officials, like you said, they do have a position advantage, circle advantage, and only 25 points deficit. One chicken dinner, they can cover up that distance. But right now, we have a fight breaking in between the players of T2K and Leo Esports, where Mr. Smokey is ready with a grenade, but he's not going to find any sort of connection. On the other side, we have Jane and Siok. The grenades are coming to and fro, and perfect one on Haidami. Jane brings in and knocks him down. Now Leo, they are down to two men, and Mr. Smokey also goes down, leaving Liquid and Sus all by himself. Instant confirmation on Mr. Smokey. Now the numbers are not favoring the case of Leo, and T2K, they are looking so aggressive right now.
Yeah, I like what they're doing. You know, they've kind of completely isolated Liquid, and they're gonna make a push at his direction. There you go, pushing in tandem. Liquid still holding out on his own, has managed to get a few knocks here and there, and now Suyoga will have to chime in. It's gonna be Sussex, the last player surviving, as T2K making sure that they do not suffer more casualties. But Sussex decides to be the aggressor, but Suyog was so well prepared. So it was the hunters who went out for hunting and eventually just became the hunted, right? Because T2K, they were just with 2 players, and the cavalry arrived really quickly. And courtesy to Jade with that grenade on Haitami, that's where things started going south for Leo Esports. And we were just, you know, praising Leo Esports, how they have developed, how they've evolved as a team. And this is what happens. This is the only reason, Shadow, that I refrain from making any sort of predictions.
It's so very difficult because all these teams are so capable. Even the players of T2K, they are 37 points deficit from the top spot. And okay, let's face it, it's not so easy to cover it up. They can still increase their bank balance by coming in the top 5. Right now, they are in the epicenter. Perfect synergy came in when they were pushing onto the players of Leo Esports. They were there like a pack of wolves hunting the players of Leo Esports. Perfect grenades were coming in. And the moment they realized Leo, they don't have the numbers, they just barged into their compound, taking down Liquid and then Sus. But we have another fight that might potentially break in between the players of Skylers Gaming and 4MV, because Skylers, they're trying to move in from the western front, where the players of 4MV, they do have a certain height advantage, and they can spot the players of Skylers Gaming. So Skylers, they need to be a bit alert and cautious at this point.
Oh yeah, I think they will have to be. And at this point, you know, Skylets Gaming, a lot of eyes are going to be on them, and especially the worst possible opponent that they can imagine right now for Medical Vibes. They are keeping an eye on them, and that's going to be a little bit of a tough task. How do they make it successfully inside the circle, especially when they're kind of pushing in from the western side? And this was sort of anticipated. Nima goes falling down, and that is not where their woes end, right? You've also got NP Esports in the nearby vicinity, and with East getting that second knock, I think for Medical Vibes, we all know what they're up to right now. They would instantly want to get in and just try to inch the gap a little bit closer, but Skylets Gaming making no delay over here, just trying to apply that extra bit of you know, pressure on for Medical Vibes so that they can get the rest back at the very least. But no, things have gotten completely topsy-turvy for them as another one goes falling down, bites the dust, as AJ still somehow managing to buy some time, but not at the best of HP, does not have enough time to heal himself and find some cover. In fact, administers that first aid, and you can see Nima, he's already decided to escape, and he wants to go on to save his life because AJ seems like he's a lost cause over there, stuck all by his lonesome as Stock, just trying to drive around with his monster truck, searching for AJ's whereabouts, as No Fear and Mafia Ninja, they lie in vain, just yelling, screaming in pain, but nobody to hear them out. But AJ, if he can buy a little bit more time, then maybe could force out a revival, but that does not seem possible anymore because Talk and East have already decided to go for the push.
No, it was impossible to save the players of Skylers Gaming right now, but right now 4MV looks like they are also in the crosshairs of Nima. At the same time, NB Esports, Sek with a perfect mini shots takes down one player from the side of 4MV, and that is not just a single normal player, that was Dog, the Grenadier. He has been eliminated. Now 4MV left with only 3 players. On the other side, we have TRZ breaking fight with the players of IHC, where Degree with those grenades is looking for some kind of an opening, but no connection whatsoever. On the other side, IHC, they are ready with those buggies, trying to lure the players out of the cover area, get to know about their position, and one of the player, LX, he received hefty damage from that grenade.
Yeah, you know, IHC, they're kind of opting for that bait and switch strat, hoping somebody just gets out of their position and tends to shoot at their direction, and the ones providing cover would get the knock instead. But TRZ exercising extreme caution over there. Mamba, you could see, just trying to thread the needle, just trying to spot a little bit of those pixels and maybe then take a few shots here and there. Does not have any grenades, and had he had a few utils that she could have used, could have at least applied a little bit of pressure on IHC. IHC understand the gravity of situation. Now again, trying to force this fight, getting a little close and personal onto its Decree. Decree hides in that little shroud of smoke, and now Zyol decides to attack in. And with that, Karel just goes spraying down, hoping a shot would connect, eventually wanting to drive over. But Zyol finds the knock as Godless charges in. And there you can see somehow Kunyo TRZ, they are holding with all their might that they have. As you can see, Rare is the final player surviving as Demo. He's got to somehow protect his team, get Godless back on his toes, which is not going to happen as Kunyo TRZ have managed to get that rest back on Mamba, as now it has all fallen down towards Demo, where he's got to pick a fight against two. Rare, he's been taking a few damage right at that position, but eventually somehow succeeding TRZ, managing to keep their players alive, and in fact rather hoping that they could get a few more revivals, as Alex just trying to impart as much information as possible, as Rare deciding to, you know, kind of administer that first aid, and Demo takes it as a golden opportunity and takes him out of the picture. But at this point, IHC really need to get the players back alive, which I don't think is going to happen, as IHC did manage to win the fight, but at the cost of 3 of their players.
Three crucial players have been lost from the side of IHC, but on the other side, we have the players of Sitim in close proximity to Seal, where Tops is also lurking nearby. So Stalwarts, they are also in the picture, but Seal, they are looking confident as Rog is so very close to the players of Sitim, where one player is bleeding out. The revival should be made because QB is already nearby Dobu. So there is no problem in the revival, but on the other side, we have High Voltage and Stalwart Esports, and looks like action. He has already spotted an assassin over there thanks to that buggy, and with that M416, he was trying to deliver some kind of a lead towards him, but no damage whatsoever. But Zordi in the compounds of IA, perfect grenade comes in and takes down Hoofis over there, leaving Nova X all by himself. Multiple grenades coming in, looking for the confirmation. Now Zordi, he has no idea about the position of Nova X, but where is the backup? Where are the cavalry? Where is Sky from the side of IR? And Nova X trying to take down the players from Raw Official. Can he take down Kancha? Surviving on a sliver of HP. I think he can if he managed to burst down that vehicle, but Kancha is ready with a grenade of his own. And this time Nova X needs to be very cautious, whereas on the other side, Geto Uta comes in and takes down Sky, and Zordi takes down Nova X. I8, in a blink of eye, they have been annihilated from the lobby.
Yeah, this is exactly the Raw officials that we wanted to see, and you know, I really liked how Kancha just posed a lot of pressure on the final player of I8 over there. I kind of liked how he just got that monster truck right on his face and kind of drove all that attention towards him, while his teammates kind of took the opportunity and finally just put him down for good. As the circle sort of takes that shift, T2K in a really promising position. Right behind them, they find the players of Seal Esports. Mapitex, day number 2 was kind of a silent affair from their side. Did not see a lot happening, and they'd be rather hoping that Komet day 3, they find some good position points. But it's going to be difficult, especially with the ERS right beside you, and ERS, they're showing some other intent. You know, they spotted out Yeta Uta, who was out of cover and managed to easily pick him off. Now, this is where, you know, Raw really need to just cut down on their losses and move ahead, because committing for Yeta Uta, that's going to be really expensive, considering ERS have constantly kept an open eye at their players. But Mabitex, this is a squad that could potentially pose a threat. If Killer or Gyante, if they're not paying attention towards their backlines, they could be in a whole world of trouble.
Southern Eastern rotations are getting so risky for all these teams. IHC, Raw Official, they are suffering casualties where Demo is all by himself. DRS is also on the Southern Eastern side, and Maptex, they are in the perfect position. But Delta, that was bound to happen. He gets a confirmation point onto Yeto Uta, but mature decision from the side of Raw Official. But Delta, by firing those bullets, he has grabbed the attention of Maptex Esports, and from uphill, Leo, he has taken hefty HP out of Delta. Now DRS, they have to be very cautious. Yes, they do have those buggies for the little bit of the hard cover, but they don't have the perfect position where his teammate, I think Rules, is already closing in the distance, trying to go in a range where he can lob those perfect grenades to find some sort of connection and knock onto Maptex Esports. But now he's going to change his mind. He's going to stick with his teammates on the other side. 4MV Apex, look at him. High voltage, they have no idea where East comes from the back lines, takes down Assassin over there. And that is the moment when Apex is going to chime in, take down Malik over there. Now High voltage left with only 2 players. This is not looking good for them.
Oh, this certainly isn't, as for Medical Vibes in close proximity to High Voltage and Assassin and Malik were not really hoping for those early knocks on their players. Now Praveen just hiding inside that murky smoke. Jiggle in turn wants to get that rest back up quickly ASAP, but will that happen? Yes indeed it does, as Jiggle gets spotted out by Refuse, forms a different angle and finds 2, as High Voltage one after the other. They're getting melted down as Assassin, the solo survivor remaining. What can he do? Can he pull off a miracle? And in fact goes after Apex, who goes for a drive-by, you know, just trying to lure him out of his cover. And successfully, for Medical Vibes, have managed to eliminate the likes of High Voltage, and Refuse also will survive. And East has sort of been the one who's been delivering those devastating killer blows and has been getting those initial few knocks, just propelling the...
The numbers of Raw officials are not supporting their case. But like you said, Stalwart Esports tops is so very close to the plus of Deadeyes. And the way Stalwart Esports, they are way too spread out. They are looking for some kind of an opening onto Deadeyes with those grenades and perfect Molotov, and Slayers are literally burning in actions. Molotov has been dealt with, in instant confirmation coming in. Now Deadeyes, they have been reduced to only 2 men. And if a knock comes in, there is no chance that they can save each other or they can do anything, because look at the compounds they're holding. It's so very small. They are susceptible to those grenades and the Molotovs. And Stalwart, I don't think they're going to face any kind of a problem in dealing with the players of Deadeyes rushing onto the compound of On Top Sir. Zed in action. They're ready with the Molotov and UMP45. But the question is On Top Sir prepared? And no, he's not. And Zed, from that window, perfect angle, he takes down On Top Sir. And with the blink of eye, Deadeye guys, they have been dealt with 0 elimination in their name.
No, I was sort of getting worried because I could see for Medical Vibes, yes, you know, taking a few pot shots at the players of Stalwart, but now this is the moment. DRS, they have to win this fight. You know, the team that's on the top against the team that's on second. DRS versus NB Sports. This is the moment that everybody was waiting for. As there you can see Sandesh gets a lock on towards action, but for now, Rules scooped up that grenade. Wander right in front of him. Will throw it into perfection. Does it land? Yes, it does indeed. As now DRS, they will have to capitalize on the situation. Bobbing and weaving through all those bullets. Oh, finds himself in a really bad position as Rules will get traded off by NBS. Fistboy, everything comes down to this one lad. He needs some cover. He needs these players to come towards him, as somehow they need to find a way to get the rest back up. Yes, they do. Fistboy taking down Delta in that process, as Gyante will try to get Rules back up, try to reset this fight. Mapatex haven't yet come in for the poke, as Sek from the backlines, he's watching onto their flanks. He's just ensuring that nobody pushes on towards them, as DRS try to get inside the zone, but Fistboy's Molotov is going to be enough, taking down Gyante in the process. And now DRS slowly but surely starting to lose out on numbers, as Rules, he's got to fight against the blue and also get in, considering the fact that Mabitex are also watching from afar. And there you go, Leo deals the killer blow, and now just one remains. It is all down towards Killer, who knows exactly where Leo is, but what can he possibly do when he's pinched in from both the sides? As there you go, goes for the peak, but Leo, really quick, really agile, ensures DRS Gaming do not escape.
Oh, perfect synergetic attack on the applause of DRS. That was bound to happen. DRS was such close proximity to the plus of Maptex Esports since a very long time, where NB Esports was also in the picture, and now NB Esports, they should be in the crosshairs of Maptex, but are they prepared? On the other side, we have Skylar's AJ taking down one player from 4MB with the perfect grenade. I wonder where exactly it is happening. I believe it is AJ is somewhere on the center position all by himself. This is not looking good, and Nima is so far away from him. If a knock comes onto AJ, I don't think Nima will be able to save him, because 4MB, they have the numbers advantage. But finally, Nima will start closing in the distance. And 4MV, they do have certain vehicles for the hard cover and ridges to play around with, but they also need to watch the 6 because from the backline, Stalwart Esports, they're also moving in, but right now they have their own worries because their Z has been taken down. They have to go for the revivals as well. So for now, Stalwart are busy, but sooner or later, they will come and strike onto the plus of 4MV.
Yeah, I think for Scarlet's Gaming, it's pretty much just stay divided. They have to fend off on their own because they would just want to survive and secure those position points. I think that's their go-to approach for this game. Seal Esports, however, they've managed to take this opportunity, trying to close in on the gap, trying to maybe just breach through T2K's compounds, or just hope that somebody strikes them over, and then they're there to just salvage whatever remains. But T2K, they're in prime position to get this chicken dinner. All they've got to do is defend with all their...
दो बार करना पड़ता है।
अब 2 बार नहीं, ट्राई कीजिए जिलेट गार्ड 3 3 ब्लेड वाला, जो दे स्मूथ शेव एक ही बार में।
2 बार नहीं,
जिलेट गार्ड 3 सिर्फ 35 रुपए में।
Might as action is getting constantly tapped off with that mini shot, and this is that perfect cue. This is that moment of opportunity that Seal needed to capitalize, but Jane was really there. He was anticipating such a thing to happen, and Seal, they have been reduced to ashes. The final player surviving for Team Seal, and that has to be Rogue. How long can he do so? That's a big question over there, as in fact he decides to go after action himself and takes a massive chunk out of him. In fact, just drives him over. But for now, Mabitex still have all 4 of their players alive, and Leo will get that rest back onto him. Mabitex have a slight advantage, I must say, over T2K, considering the altitude that they have. And the nearest posing threat will, of course, be from T2K, where NB, if they can capitalize on the opportunity, they could also, just take them down.
I think at this moment, if NB Esports stays silent and patient, I think they can get a chicken dinner. That should be the target if they want to be the champion of the grand finals. But right now, Maptex Esports, Leo has been taken down, but it's an easy revival that is coming in. T2K, this is the moment when they should be lobbing some grenades on the Molotovs in the direction of Maptex and look for those confirmation points. But AJ, well, he has been eliminated by NB Esports, leaving Nima all by himself. But Jane, with that mini, he has spotted on the players of Stalwart Esports. And Stalwart, all they have is a little bit of the ridge for the hard cover. And the moment the circle takes a southern shift, Stalwart, they have to come out in the open. But if it goes toward the northern side, well, Stalwart, they will have the benefit of the circle. But Kese, with the Scarl, takes on Fist Boy over there, out there in the open, the players of NB Esports. But do they have any sort of idea about the position of Nima? Nima can be that ugly thorn for the players of NB Esports. But for now, Stalwart Esports and 4MV, they are locking horns with each other. Trades were coming in, and Nizet is left all by himself, where 4MV, they still have the numbers advantage.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, even if it kind of goes a little north, I don't see Nizet trying to successfully make it inside the circle, because look at it, it's so open right now, and they're going to be prone to a lot of shots coming at their direction. Nirzet, at this point, he's pretty much given up. All he can hope for is these remainder of the teams fighting it out amongst themselves, as I think the battle is going to get just heated up between Mabitex and T2K, where NB might decide to third party. But for now, for Medical Vibes, they have also been hitting the corners really well, and now this is the point where they make a move, and who will be on towards? That's a big question, right? Nima, he's also trying to survive for as long as he possibly can, still remaining hidden. As Sek, he's the one trying to just mow down the players of NBS. T2K, they decide to take another spot, and right now, Kessie, he's going to take the opportunity of taking one of the players of NB down. I think Akaza has fallen on his knees, as Nima finally bites the dust at the 6th position, as the final 5 remain, with T2K, Mabitex being the prime contenders for getting a chicken dinner, unless and until NB pull off something really miraculous. As Nirzet, despite against all odds, that one grenade just taking down the entirety of T2K. Wally also chiming in that process, but Nirzet, he's done the job for his squad. He's got to be the hero for Stalwart Esports as they end up at the 4th position. But hey, with 7 elims to their name.
But for MV, heavy fire coming in their direction, and they have also been dealt with by the plus of Maptex Esports. Maptex having the perfect rooftop angle onto them, and they are bringing the numbers of NB Esports down. At the same time, the trades are coming in. Baron is down. This is the moment Maptex, they have to go for those first trades. They have to go for the rescue mission onto those fallen teammates. 3 players on the rooftop. On the other side, the majority of the real estate is in the hands of NB Esports. But Mondo, that could have been a precise grenade from the side of Maptex. His position has been compromised and multiple grenades are coming in. I don't know how he's going to survive those barrage of grenades, but somehow he's still standing strong, still surviving. But Valley comes in with a M416 and a Molotov takes down both the players, Sek and Kaze from NB.
Yeah, now this is the point where Maptex go in for the push. This is the point where they deal the killer blow, and they indeed do, and get this important, very crucial chicken dinner for themselves, and that is gonna just give them a little bit of morale. They're still in the top 8, nothing to worry about. They're gonna kind of inch in closer maybe to that 5th or 6th position, but such a huge game for NB Esports as well, getting that 2nd spot with decent amount of elims to their name. Now this is where they start bringing in that difference against DRS, take that top spot, and will want to even increase that lead further. But what a start it has been for the Mongolian teams, all of them kind of performing really out of expectations. T2K had such a good position, but they kind of messed things up, didn't they? Trying to just survive in that one little dip, and all it took was just 2 grenades from Nirzet to wipe the entirety of T2K. But this is it. There you can see Maptex courtesy to that chicken dinner. Now they find themselves at the 5th spot with 19 points.
Oh yes, they are in the top 5 now, and that was their target, and they will be targeting the top spot as well. But yes, 19 points is definitely going to help them propel themselves in the overall ranking. But in the esports, again, a very consistent performance came from their side. In the last few moments, it was just the position. Their positions were compromised. All they had was little rock for the hard cover, and they were susceptible to those grenades. And NB Maptex, well, they were on the rooftop. The perfect grenades were coming in, and they were able to bring down the numbers of NB Esports.
Yeah, I think, it was a really technical game of Miramar, to be honest. There were so many things that we could talk about. We will indeed, but let's take a look at the MVP. It has to be East. I mean, this was coming, right? With the way For Medical Vibes were looking in their zone tonight. In fact, the way they started. I think For Medical Vibes, of course, 4 eliminations are not going to justify that 1,000+ points of damage that East dished out, and this is also going to help For Medical Vibes to accrue a lot of more points. And towards the end, For Medical Vibes were just caught between a rock and a hard place, so they could not do much from there. But still, despite that fact, they had a pretty good game as well.
Oh yes, they had a very good game. In the start of the game, they were able to bring down the numbers of Skylar's Gaming with those grenades. That they were able to eliminate the players of high voltage, the nearest threat they had for that chicken dinner. So they already dealt with high voltage at the very early stage. Along with that, T2K, they also had a very decent run. In the starting, they were able to eliminate the entirety of Leo Esports, a perfect synergetic attack. The perfect grenades was coming from the side of Jane. It was Jane who was able to take down one player from the side of Leo Esports. If I'm not wrong, maybe more than one. Even Nirzet. Well, Nirzet, he eliminated the entirety of T2K.
Oh yeah, I mean, that was one for the highlight reels, and T2K would be devastated by that. But take a look at the match summary, and there you can see those 5 eliminations coming in for Nirzet. He was he was absolutely impressive with the way he played, because I really thought that he's not going to even survive over there. But somehow he did, and he made that happen. Action and Nirzet, 2 of those players, making sure they got a lot of points for Stalwart Esports. And there you can see Maptex Esports right on top with 19 points. For Medical Vibe, a really crucial one for them, as they also managed to get 14 along with NB Esports. So now DRS, considering they could not get a lot, and I really felt, Shadow, that DRS should have retreated from that position the moment they realized that Maptex was right on top of their heads. So had they done that, had they even pushed on T2K, they could have still been in a fighting contention. But instead, managing to make a little bit of a defensive stance, kind of caught in the middle with nowhere to run and hide.
Oh yeah, 100% agreed. And this time, so many teams were going for the southern eastern rotation. That is where the players of IHC, TRZ, Raw officials, IA, they were pretty much stuck. And IA, they also had to buy the farm so very early. But in the overall ranking, no one is taking NB Esports top spot for now, 175 points. But for MV, they are inching closer to them with 162 points to their name. On the second spot, Stalwart Esports. This time, they did have very good elimination point, 160 points, only 2 points deficit from 4 MB.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I was talking about. Look at that, how much the top order has been stirred up, right? DRS Gaming, I mean, at 156, just courtesy to one bad game. And suddenly you could see NB Sports and the rest, they've kind of gone way ahead, like almost around 20 points of difference has been created. And this is going to hurt them because Stalwart has also caught up, for Miracle Vibes has also caught up, and a huge task lies up ahead. But as we move on further down below, Seal Esports did have a decent game in this one, did manage to accrue a few points here and there. Dead Eyes guys could not see a lot out of their side, but let's take a quick look at the schedule as we're done with Miramar. But next up ahead, it's going to be the map of Sandhawk, a map that has been right now currently owned by the Nepalis, right? Till now, not even a single Mongolian or a Bangladeshi team has managed to get a chicken dinner in the grand finals, at least. So let's hope we do not get to see Sitem and High Voltage going up against each other. We do not get to see those early fights. Rather, a very interesting game towards the end.
Oh yes, because in the grand finals, rivalry is not going to benefit either of them. Yes, High Voltage, they may be in a safe spot, but like you said, the overall leaderboard is so volatile. One bad game and maybe right now you are in the top 12, but you can be thrown out of top 12 and you can be in the danger area. So definitely Sitim and High Voltage, they both don't want such a situation. So mature decision is just go for your normal loot, grab those resources, avoid those early drop collisions, because even hey, Deadeye guys, they're also joining the fray these days.
Exactly. I was just gonna get there because no matter whoever survives, whoever is the victor, does not get to enjoy the spoils of war there, right? Instantly, just being happy. All right, we got 4 eliminations or 3, and suddenly Dead Eyes guys out of nowhere they just pop in. And yes, we did make our predictions, did not happen, but yes. I think my predictions have been made, and for Bhavna, for you, do you want to make any predictions or want to go with the usual?
I'll go with Seal. Let's stick to the bottom team. 2 teams, let's root for them.
Alright, so Seal it is for Bhavna, and she's made it. But we would want to know what the viewers think, because the first game of Miramar completely shows how hungry these teams are for that top spot, right? NB Esports, a game that really mattered to them. They somehow converted it, got a lot of points secured out of this one. Of course, missed out on the chicken dinner, but that's not something to scoff at, because those 14 points that they have collected is going to help them a lot in the overall standings. But even for Miracle Vibes, we could finally see them getting into their zone, finally see East making those crucial plays, and Doc also trying to capitalize on it. And sadly, Doc kind of got eliminated a little bit earlier. But yes, the top 4 teams have come down to their senses right now. We could see even Stalwart being quite vigilant, quite watchful. We haven't seen any of those aggressive plays that are not called for, not forcing fights, or rather, playing with proper caution. So, this is what I really wanted, right? All these teams to kind of start looking at things and approaching the circle in a quite meticulous manner, which they are doing. And I'm pretty sure that is going to yield them results with those 5 games still remaining.
Just 5 games, not only just 5 games, and they're so very less, because like you said, one bad game, anything can happen. Right now you might be sitting on the 11th or the 10th spot, and one bad game you could be on the 13th spot. Even the bottom teams, the way they are stepping themselves up, yes, there is still a chance for the players or for the team on the 13th or the 14th spot, the players of TRZ, but they have to be so very consistent. The remaining 5 games are so pivotal for these bottom teams. Yes, for the top teams, they are having their race for the money, but for the bottom teams, it's a race for the qualification to the SA Championship. That is more important, because that is where the major prize money is going to be. So yes, let's hope Sitem and High Voltage, like you said, they don't turtle up with their very first game, because if they do so, I think Data guys, they are going to be so very happy. They need those points. They are hungry for those points, and they're going to find them in the name of Sitem and High Voltage.
At a point, after the first 3 games, somebody is going to just break free, right? like we saw right now, NB Esports are playing exactly the way they are supposed to and delivering results. Of course, they missed out on the chicken dinner, but they're going to be really happy with the points that they collected, and same goes for Miracle Vibes also. Now, this is a huge game for DRS because they will have to get back into the equation, because if they do not, then we're going to see the top 3 Mongolian teams reign over the SA region. But for now, the flight path trajectory all the way from Lakavi towards Hathin, a lot of teams won't have any problems taking their drops. Just hoping somebody does something out of ordinary and proves us wrong. Maybe, you know, a different drop clash we get to see. But is that going to happen? We are going to get your answers in the next couple of seconds, because Dead Eyes, High Voltage and Sitim, they are, you know, going back to their old regime again. We could see that action breaking out, but seems like Sitim want to sit this one out, you know, just stay back a little bit, maybe go towards Camp Alpha. But a different fight's happening over there. Look at High Voltage. They want to take the fight right at these faces. I feel there's a little bit of a rivalry that has brewed up. I think a little bit of a revenge story that's going on, because this is something that Dead Eyes guys did not anticipate, and their worst fears have come true.
This might cost them the qualification. Dead Eye guys, they have to win this fight. At the same time, High Voltage for them also. This is so very pivotal. The rivalry is still brewing up. And look at the position of True Love Star. He can be that cheeky player who having an off angle, which the players of High Voltage are not anticipating at all, because their entire attention is towards On Top Sir, Precious Sir and Slayer Sir, who are trying to regroup. And On Top Sir, well, he's not giving any kind of a sound cue. He's not moving a single muscle. But I'm hoping True Love Sir to bring some kind of an opening. But High Voltage, well, they're looking pretty much equipped. The bags are pretty much full. And Jiggle crawling his way, being one with the nature, moving inching closer to the players of Dead Eye guys. But unfortunately, has got no grenade, nothing, just a level 2 vest and a QBZ.
No, I don't like this. I don't like this from High Voltage. They should have done the contrary. They should have gone after True Love. I'm pretty sure they must have seen one of that parachutes landing aloof from his team, and should have rather isolated, because this is what happens when you do not have the information on your opponents, right? And Jiggle knows that the other remainder players of Dead Eyes are just cornered to this one place. But what can they do? Now suddenly the panic has set in, because they have lost out on Assassin, one of the most reliable players of their team, and giving Dead Eyes guys that little room to maneuver, that little room to rotate around. And well, Hathin sort of been their go-to place, and they know the nooks and crannies. They know the places that they can capitalize on. And High Voltage suddenly have had to take a back step from over here.
Challenging a team in their home ground is never a good idea, and I think High Voltage, they have realized it. Jiggle, like I said, is out there in the open with no helmet. One bullet is enough to take down Jiggle in this situation. Yes, he does have a level 2 vest, but that is not going to help him, because no smokes, no throwables, nothing, just a weapon in his hands. The numbers are not in their favor, and the way the players of Dead Eye guys are surrounding High Voltage right now, well, Jiggle, he can't save his teammates. He can't help his teammates. And Dead Eye guys, I don't think they're going to make the mistake of coming out in the open on the other side of the fence, from where Jiggle can get a line of sight onto Dead Eye guys. So pretty much High Voltage, it looks like this fight is not going to go in their favor. But anything can happen. Anything can happen. Jiggle is still crawling his way towards True Love Sir. I hope Dead Eye guys, they don't come out in the open, because this game is so pivotal for both these teams.
Okay, so one thing for sure that I can, you know, contemplate from here is the fact that you know, High Voltage, they know they're qualified for the SA Championship. What do they have to lose? No matter what they try, how much they try, I'm pretty sure they're not going to get onto the top spot. And at this point, I guess they don't care about the prize money either. So what they're gonna do is just not let Dead Eyes guys get away from here. At least they would want to, you know, cause them a few more losses, because look at the circle, right? The circle's nowhere close to where they are at this point, and they'll have to make a way inside the circle. And for Dead Eyes guys, they're not at the best of positions, right? They need to have those good games. But look at Sitim, Chiro. Is he aware of Stalwarts coming in, or is it the other way around, where Dobu, he saw Icy coming in close, and Jiro did not even have to move a muscle there, and suddenly, just like that, Icy has been taken down out of the equation. Now Sitim This is something that they haven't done previously, right? They usually tend to take a fight against high voltage, and Stalwart was really caught off guard over there as Zero getting a little pressurized from up top, and now they're gonna go in for the push and just apply or try to take down Zero in this process. Stalwart trying to move in tandem with each other, but IC finally succeeding as Dobu's position also gets compromised. Stop providing that quintessential cover fire from up top as Sitim. Now this is the moment where they have to reconsider their approach towards this fight. You can clearly see Desert and QB, they've already broken down for a flank as Stalwart. They are adamant on getting their players back alive as two of them have already bitten the dust as for Miracle Vibes out of nowhere they just come in and steal their kills away. And Stalwart, they, at the same time, I'm pretty sure they're pissed, but they do not have any time to lament or be angry about. They need to get the hell out of there, because if they get caught there, there is no means of escape. From one side, they can get sandwiched by the players of Sitim. From the other, it is going to be for Miracle Vibes, who absolutely mow them down.
I just feel sad for the players of Sitim Esports. I can feel their pain. They chased the drop just to escape from the clutches of high voltage. And high voltage, this time, they went for DE. And Sitim, unnecessary, they got into the clutches of Stalwart Esports, where they lost two of their players. I feel sad for them, but high voltage, well, Praveen all by himself, holding on to his position, not giving any kind of sanguine.
Busy work schedule stressing you out? Take a break. Book your flight tickets on Paytm easily. Flight tickets के लिए
पेटीएम करो.
Finally, he comes out, takes down one player from side of Dead Egg Guys, but the DBS never fails to impress me. On top, Sir comes right in the nick of time, saves the day for his team, and now high voltage. Yes, they are in the 10th spot right now, but
Yeah.
Dead Egg Guys, they understand how important this game is, this very day is, because right now they are not in the qualification position in the overall leaderboard. They're sitting somewhere on the 13th spot. They need those points, and now they have the numbers. What can Jiggle do in this situation? He can't do anything. He can make a jump into the water and swim inside the circle, somehow try and escape. But he has got no first aids as well.
Jiggle, I think he's shown no intent to fight. All he has been doing is just proning around the grass. I think what he's gonna do next is just try to bite one of the players of Dead Eyes. Just get a little greedy, because Dead Eyes, they have that constant fear looming around them. Where could he be hiding? And you know, look at that. You know, both these teams, I think High Voltage has succeeded in their endeavors. No matter, they have lost out on majority of the players, but they have absolutely ruined the timing for Dead Eyes guys to get inside the circle, because now Kunyo TRZ, they're holding off the bridge. They will also get down eventually, but now it's going to come down to so many of the other teams. And today the circle has been so merciful on the players of Raw officials, right? Even in the previous one, they had a good zone to themselves, even the players of Leo. But at the same time, you know, you have to understand that you just do not have to hold circles. You have to also defend your positions. Now T2K, Skylights Gaming in real close proximity to each other, as Mafia Ninja just lies hidden in the open, lets him pass. And seems like he does not have any vehicles also, considering they've got to travel a long way inside the circle, and the fact that healing meta is out of question. I'm kind of curious to see what will Skylights Gaming do from around here.
Well, Skylights Gaming, they are trying to be a little cautious. Like you said, Mafia Ninja, 1,000 meters away from the circle. They don't have the numbers, and they don't want to ruin the chances of being in the top 3 position right now, which they're trying to get into, or maybe on the top spot, because top 5 they have already made into. And if they make it inside the circle, the chances are very less, because T2K, they are also right in front of them. At the same time, T2K, they have their own worries. One of the player was taken down, but the revival has been made. All these teams coming from the complete eastern side, northeastern side, they are at the mercy of the blue. But Dead Eye guys, they are still towards Hathin, so far away from the circle. And I don't think they had the chance to loot the Hathin city completely, so they are a little short on those resources as well. But Skylights Gaming, they're just letting the players of T2K pass, relying on those 4 states and hoping that they can make it inside the circle.
DRS are pretty happy with how the zone has formed, right? Inside the zone, and now they get to take a fight against raw officials. They've got a few knocks here and there. But for Miracle Vibes, under heavy fire, East has been taken down. Liquid decides to find a different angle, but needs to be watching over Doc, because if Doc sees that flank coming in, he's gonna punish. Instead, goes after Haidami, and Doc really needs to change his position right now. Liquid couldn't close in the grab, as a result of which could not trade Haidami off, and now Leo Esports, they're gonna be on a quick retreat. They realize the team in front of them is gonna be for Miracle Vibes. It's better to avoid them at this point of the game, and rather focus more on getting a decent cover, considering the fact that they're inside the circle, and you would not want for Miracle Vibes to be chasing you. At least when for Miracle Vibes are in a scintillating good form, that's the last thing you would want to do, is pick up a fight with them early on into the game.
Well, Leo Esports at the start of the day, they were sitting on the 11th.
How to withdraw profit from Olymp Trade? I top up my account in rupees or another currency and open a trade. If the choice is correct, I'll profit. Withdrawing money in a convenient way. Try right now.
At the start of the day, they were sitting on the 11th spot, and they don't want to ruin the chances of qualifying. But right now, Kancha made the mistake of his life by entering in. Not the mistake, actually Liquid was not prepared. Kancha dropped in and eliminated Liquid over there from the side of Leo Esports. Now the damage has been done. The numbers are not in the favor of Raw Official. At the same time, the numbers of Leo Esports are also not in their favor. This game was crucial for both these teams. Yes, Leo, like I said, they are in the top 12 position right now, but they need the consistency today running so that they can qualify. On the other side, we have the players of Maptex, where Kese is bleeding. The perfect smoke cover has been laid to go for the rescue mission. Valley might be going for the rescue mission, but on the other side, we have the players of Steel Esports having an uphill advantage, and Rock with that QPZ is trying to pip a few bullets in the smoke, looking for the connection, looking for the confirmation onto them. On the other side, Deadeye guys, they were trying to move inside the circle, but are still at the mercy of the blue, and looks like Playzone is playing their part. At the same time, Stalbert Esports is all coming in, getting the confirmation onto Deadeye guys.
Yeah, and now a lot of those teams just around the edges, right? Nobody wants a part of the center. Even NB Esports feels like they're gonna take the waterways, but Seal, one after the other, they're just getting taken down. And at this point, Becca, he needs to patch himself up. Rogue does have that bike, so he could maneuver around and make a quick rotation inside the zone. But the big question is, how do they do that? Especially when at these moments, usually the bridges are guarded, but this time that's not the case. And Rogue becomes one of those players that has to take that risk, even gets the military drop over there, as now you've got Mondo going after the players of T2K. Rig just got inside that compound, has that DBS in his hand, as Mondo keeps tapping down, but does not succeed, as now T2K have managed to create a little bit of that distance, and Mondo, he's fighting for his life right now. Barely surviving with a sliver of HP. Fistboy also chimes in into the fight. Sandesh, also on real low HP, needs to patch himself up, as Mondo has administered the first aid, as now Fistboy decides to get a little close and personal. Sandesh reveals himself as the nade goes flying down at his direction, also managing to successfully dodge it. And T2K and NB Esports, I mean, NB Esports would want to avoid the fight at any circumstances whatsoever, but seems like they haven't got any vehicles to get in. So even if they can manage to get a few limb points, they're going to be happy with whatever they get, because Mondo again going in close, and this time finally succeeds, as T2K are reduced to 3 men.
Yes, 3-man on NB Esports. They have the perfect DBS also. But T2K Jane, well, he has a buggy, he has a vehicle, and this is a mature decision coming from his side to escape and scuttle back to the safety. But will they be allowed? Because Mondo is hunting for them, looking for the perfect angle so that he can blow up the vehicle, and he takes on one player, Rick, from the moving vehicle. But last player remaining, Jane, well, finally he makes it to the safety. But at the cost of what? At the cost of losing 2 players. T2K, they don't have the numbers. Jane is also on a very low HP. At the same time, Mapix Esports, well, they're also inside the water, if I'm not wrong. One player was taken down. But Steel Esports, they have the upper height advantage. On the other side, on the southern western side, we have the players of IEHC also, where one player has been taken down. They have to move inside the circle. But how they do so? Because we have TRZ, we have the players of DRS as well. They can gatekeep IEHC.
Yeah, I mean, for IHC, the life's gonna turn hell right now at this point. But talking about the team that has got the best chances in getting the chicken dinner has to be the players of Miracle Vibes as to how they're positioned right now. Just spread across, the only team perhaps inside the map right now, barring a few others and the solo individuals. But Stalwart also want to make a move. They want to take over the compounds, and IHC and DRS engage in a fight of their own. As IHC decide to sort of breach their way inside the circle, I think they did manage to find one of the players of DRS, managed to take him down. I think it was Delta who took the fall, and now DRS will exercise extreme caution. And at this point, the Eastern teams, it's going to be so difficult for them to kind of enter inside the zone, especially the likes of NB Sports. Now, one after the other, you could see the bodies falling, and IHC, just like that, they got eliminated. Kudnio TRZ were in such good position, and now Seal decide to attack on the houses of Raw at this point, as the Molotovs have been already thrown over, trying to flush the enemy out of the territory. As now Kansha just trying to lob those grenades at Soulless or maybe Vika's direction, but Seal deciding to take the higher route, just back off for the moment.
Looking for the latest trends? Amazon, India's ultimate jewelry destination, lets you choose from rings, necklaces and earrings. Choose from the latest jewelry. Download app and sign in now.
I think that's a better decision because the grenades are so they were susceptible to those grenades. They could have been taken down in that situation. And Raw officials, well, there are only 2 players, but on the other side, Seal, they managed to escape from the players of Raw official, but walked right into the arms of Maptex Valley. Where Valley takes down Rock. Now Becca is trying to go for the rescue mission. At the same time, Valley is prepared for him. Now with a grenade, he might be looking for another knock onto Becca over there, hiding behind that rock. But can he find the connection? Can he lob it to the perfection? It looks like no is the answer. But Becca, okay, Becca was trying to take down Valley, but it confirmed his own teammate's death.
Yeah, that kind of tends to happen in situations like this. But Wally, I think he spotted out Becca and will show no mercy. Instantly takes him down and then goes after Sanchir, as Seal tend to get melted down over here, as Wally really high on confidence. Mabitex, we did see last game was the best so far from their side, but Kansha from a different angle finds them out. Seal get a little breathing space. Soulless will have to invest a lot of resources trying to get Sanchir back alive, but the circle, the center, speaks a different story, because for Miracle Vibes and Stalwart right beside each other, just waiting for the Giants to collide again. Yesterday they did in Erangel, where Stalwart successfully managed to exterminate them. But this time, for Miracle Vibes, they're going to be playing this fight on their own terms, on their own turf, and it's going to be difficult for Stalwart. But one good thing about Stalwart is that they've got some good concrete cover. If they can capitalize on that, if they can do something out of that, and if Apex gets taken out over here, things will look really south. But it is just trades happening left, right and center, and at this point nobody is safe, to be honest.
Well, Stalwarts are safe. They have the compound. They are in the epicenter, but Zordi from the side of Raw. TRS, they have no idea about Zordi's position, but now they know, and Killer Whitey along with his teammates comes in and deals with him. With that, Raw officials, a much needed good game, didn't go in their favor. 2 elimination points eliminated at the 9th spot. At the same time, High Voltage also puts by, but Sanjeev being one with the nature takes on Woofis. At the same time, Viper as well from the side of I8. What is happening? Well, Seal Esports as a 2-man squad, they have dealt with the players of I8. Now, I8 surviving with only single player and only 1 elimination to their name. I wonder what they are going to do, because Nova X, he is not in the perfect position. He's on the lower ground and he has to move inside the circle with the players of 4MV. Might welcome him.
Oh. Now, this is getting really interesting for Miracle Vibes. They've got a 2-2 split going on. White separated from each other. And if Stalwart tend to capitalize on that, then things could go really bad. But Seal, I do not know how they're still alive, but they're still kicking. But right now, as a matter of fact, they intend to get inside the circle. With Apex keeping a close watch, the direction, it's going to be really difficult. Because had they taken the vehicle from over there, then Apex must have heard sound from the engine. At this point, DRS have that little bit of a lower ground, and Mad Cat could possess a lot of could pose a lot of trouble. But Sanchir somehow has managed to take one of the players of for Medical Vibes down. But the question is Apex gonna let them pass? As Soulless and Sanchir get really close to him, as Killer Whitey just scouring through the land, scouting for a good spot for his teammates. Hide and ensure they survive for a little bit longer, as Refuse that crucial knock. And Soulless reveals his position, and Apex would want to capitalize on this opportunity. Goes with that DBS, but Soulless quicker and will show no mercy as he instantly just bites him down, gulps him before anything else could happen. As DRS wanting to take advantage of the situation, go charging in, and Gyante gets a final blow.
Oh, certainly he does, but they are not stopping. Now they are after the players of TRZ, where Mad Cat has been dealt with. And now TRZ, they are in the crosshair for Stalwart Esports as well. A perfect third party coming in, and IC takes down Degree. Now TRZ, Kunyo TRZ left with only 2 players. Down to 4 teams, 12 players remaining. Stalwarts having the perfect position, perfect compound to hold on to. Even the circle is in their favor. On the other side, TRS still on the periphery. Rare X, I'm worried about him. How is he going to survive? Mamba is so far away from him. On one side, they have Stalwart. On the other side, they have the players of TRS, where Killer Whitey, along with this vehicle, is already trying to lure the players of TRZ out of their covers.
I think it's just at this point, Mamba has to knock down a player of DRS, but unfortunately his position has been compromised. Now this is where the worst nightmares of Kunyo TRZ has come true. At this point, what do? DRS have got a little bit of a breathing space. They've also got their vehicles, and Mamba just has to stay at the mercy of the circle. Killer puts him down, asks him to sit down over there, as Rerex, the only sole surviving member of Kunyo TRZ, what can he possibly do? He's literally sandwiched from 2 possible directions. Now Stalwart decide to break out of their compounds as the zone has shifted away from them. This is the perfect time where they make their move. But for Medical Vibes, from up top, they are watching out on every single movements that they're making. And IC, becoming a hero for their team, has managed to get another crucial knock and will get the finish. As Gante manages to eliminate the last player of TRZ, as now for Medical Vibes, that little split is starting to hurt them. Now reduced down to just 2 men, with Stalwart, with all 4 of their players alive, are eyeing on the chicken dinner.
The way Stalwart Esports, they have the majority of the real estate control. They're controlling the complete western side of the area, and along with that, Rarex and GRS, they both are dealt by action over there. TBS coming to the perfection, deals with the confirmation of 1 player from the side of DRS. Now DRS reduced to only 2.
सुनो, तेल वेल सब खत्म हो गया।
अरे संडे तक तो चलाओ यार।
संडे क्यों? क्यों संडे? हर काम संडे।
चेक करो डील शेयर ऐप। डील शेयर ऐप पर मिलते हैं इंडिया के सारे टॉप ब्रांड्स और हजारों लोकल ब्रांड्स भी। यहाँ बेस्ट क्वालिटी आइटम्स पर शहर में सबसे सस्ते डील्स पा सकते हैं, वो भी हर घंटे। और तो और फ्री डिलीवरी, डेली कैशबैक एंड कॉन्टेस्ट भी।
अरे मान गया बाबा, लो अभी ऑर्डर करता हूँ ना। अरे ये क्या है?
हाँ, मैंने तो कल ही ऑर्डर कर दिया था।
अभी गूगल प्ले स्टोर से डील शेयर ऐप डाउनलोड करें और हर दिन बेहतरीन डील्स का फायदा उठाएं। डील शेयर, आपकी ऑनलाइन दुकान।
The confirmation of 1 player from the side of DRS. Now DRS reduced to only 2 players, but IC has been knocked down, and Doc is going to get the confirmation point. But on the other side, perfect grenade comes onto the face of Gyante by Stalwart Esports. Now Killer is reduced to only a lone sum, and he takes down Refuse over there from the side of 4MV. But from the back lines, the Z comes in and eliminates the entirety of DRS.
Now it's a 1v3 for Doc. He's got the DBS. All he's gonna do is connect his shots right, but that's not gonna happen. The stalwarts are not gonna let him live and breathe as they finally get the chicken dinner. Such a good time for Action to get back into his own groove, and a much needed chicken dinner at this point right now, and this is gonna propel them, I'm pretty sure, to the top of the standings, as even the players of Miracle Vibe managed to get a second position. So this makes things a lot more spicier. But considering the fact that Stalwart have managed to get a win at such a crucial moment, yes, they are gonna take over the top spot. And well, the Mongolians are back, and Stalwart is here to rule, and that is the message that they have spread throughout the lobby.
Well, they were waiting for this chicken dinner since a very long time. Finally, they get it.
Your order is here.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
The comeback is real for Stalwart Esports, as in the final day they get a chicken dinner and directly go rocketing way up top. And this is the moment I think majority of the Stalwart fans had been waiting for. When is their team gonna make a comeback? And they certainly have done it. You know, we had to wait for 2 days, and the final one, they come in and swing hard and get 2 really good games and a chicken dinner also for themselves. But Shadow, what an amazing game it was. I mean, it was filled with a lot of, you know, unprecedented events, a lot of, you know, random stuffs happening. First off, we started with high voltage, just trying to make lives hell for Dead Eyes guys, but they kind of had to get bitten back, and then they kind of did a majority of the work, right? They kind of ruined Dead Eyes guys' times, but then we saw NB, another fight there, here and there, left and right, when we thought Miracle Vibes might walk away with a chicken, but then it was in fact Stalwart who come with the W.
Well, definitely. DRS also kind of ruined the numbers of 4 MV when they were left with only 2 players. And Killer YT is the guy to be blamed. And he's the standard player from the side of DRS. 5 elimination, the MVP, 869 damage. Perfect stats coming in. In fact, DRS, they were placed perfectly. It was just that they rushed towards the side of Rare X from Kunio TRZ. They were not prepared for the players of Stalwart Esports. And Stalwart, they were placed perfectly to take down Rare X, at the same time deal with one player of DRS and ruin the game of the remaining players as well, because the split that DRS two remaining players were having was not working in their favor. But Killer YT, he did everything to the perfection. Whatever was required, he delivered it. Even in the end, I think Killer YT was the one who took down one player from the side of 4MP.
And taking a look at the top players over here. Alright, so we've got Killer, we've got Doc, Top, Icy, and Soulless is not one of the suspects that we would expect, but towards the end, don't ask me how he survived and how he did the things that he did. He somehow did. And, you know, those were those cheeky plays coming in from their side. There were multiple times where Seal kind of were a little lucky and just got away with murder. But yes, Seal Esports, a really good game for them, and they would be happy because team are right at the very bottom, a few more points, and could dream of making it to the SA Championship. But taking a look at the match summary, so again, the usual suspects in front of us over here. Skylights Gaming, not the best of games. I think they were kind of struggling right from the very start, already reduced to a two-man squad, and could barely get inside the circle. However, the teams down south, I think BRS was enjoying themselves. Raw for some particular moments was enjoying, but there comes for Miracle Vibes, shows no mercy, and everybody's just dealt with. But Stalwart Esports are the team that walk away with this chicken, 20 points to their name, and then we've got DRS, 10 eliminations, really helping them in getting those 15. Such an important game, and they also rise up to the occasion. So now we've got again those four teams still trying to battle for the top spot, Shadow, but this time their places are all stirred up.
Oh, certainly their places are. The overall leaderboard is still so very volatile, and Stalwart Esports with those 20 points have definitely propelled themselves up. But I so very feel bad for the players of System Esports. They were minding their own business. They were like, we have nothing to do with the rivalry. We are going to focus on qualification for SSE. They went somewhere else, changed the drop location, but Stalwart Esports was there. They didn't have the numbers at that point, and Sitim, I feel bad for them. But Leo Esports, this time today, back-to-back two bad games from the side of Leo Esports as well. High Voltage, well, they paid price for the rivalry, nothing to be blamed. They called for this kind of a performance, and they got only 1 point.
Yeah, and this sort of leads us to the overall rankings. There you can see, still could be just anyone. The battle is still intense, still hot between the top four over here. IHC has kind of fizzled out right now, sitting at the 8th spot, but look at the top four. Barely just 9 points separating each other, and one bad game could cost them the championship. As NB Esports, you know, they had a really good first game. The second game did not go the way they wanted, and in that, you know, Stalwart, for Miracle Vibes, DRS Gaming just kind of managed to bag the top 3. So as a result, you know, so close to each other. Then we've got Mabitex, Skylights Gaming, T2K, and IHC. So for all 4 of these teams, it's going to be really difficult to actually breach in through that top 4. But action down below at from 12 to 16, we can see Sitim still at 96 points, but Kunio TRC is starting to threaten them slowly but surely. Seal Esports sitting at 85. 1 or 2 more good games could make things worse. But I think High Voltage, with what they intended, right? Making things worse for Dead Eyes guys. I think they're going to do everything that they possibly can to not make them qualify for the SA Championship. So one less Nepali team, they're not going to be worried about that.
They're trying with tooth and nail to stop the players of Dead Eye guys from qualifying, but at the same time, High Voltage, they also need to realize 4 games are remaining, and which there is one more Senok. So if High Voltage also have one more bad game and the bottom teams deliver a fantastic performance in the remaining games, anything can happen. Yes, the chances are slim. The chances are in the favor of High Voltage qualifying for the SAC at any cost, but still, be prepared for the worst. There is nothing in the rivalry, but yeah, we have Erangel coming up. In the last Erangel, it was Skylights Gaming who got the chicken dinner, and Raw Official, they came so very close to it, but they did deliver a very high fragging performance.
Oh yeah, and you know, the last game, Erangel, it's going to be a blockbuster. It's going to be the main event, and as you already know, folks, that this last day is turning out to be a huge affair for all the top 4 teams at the very least, because anyone and everyone can win that. You know, it could be DRS, it could be Stalwart, it could be for Miracle Vibes, and it also could be NB Sports. You know, you let us know who do you think is going to win in the next map of Erang. Stalwart finally getting a chicken dinner. I think they were the only team in the top 4 that was without a chicken dinner up until now. But, you know, I've made my prediction already, you know, locked in. And Bhavna, for you, who's it going to be?
It's Seal for the entire day. It's going to be Seal from my side as well.
All right, so we're going to lock Seal also for the rest of the day for, you know, Bhavna over there. So that's, you know, just barring that, you know, once we're done with predictions and everything, coming down to business. So it is Erangel. I think Erangel has been one of the strong suit also for DRS, the likes of Skylights Gaming, but Stalwart Esports. They also tend to, you know, clutch things through. And especially with how well they performed in the previous one in Sandhawk right now, I mean, we could be looking at them also taking over. But NB Esports, they've been dealt with a blow. They cannot afford to leave any corners unchecked, right? I think this is also one of their games where they really need to come back swinging, because if they do not, the other 3 might just trample over them.
I think NB can try to do so in the map of Miramar. This time I feel like 4MB will try to redeem themselves, because they came so very close to getting that chicken dinner for themselves. So I think after the other dominant Mongolian team getting a chicken dinner, 4MB might be looking for it in this one, and they can certainly do so, because 4MB Stalwart, they both drop in towards the military base island in Stalwart. They have to deal with I8 and TRS if they go for an early rotation, but for 4MB, their path is pretty much clear. It's only TRs in Primorsk.
Yeah, I think for Miracle Vibes, we know yesterday what or how devastating were they getting. And today in Sanhok, things got a little odd for them, to be honest, with the way they were kind of spread out. I do not know if that was the best of decision. They wanted to cover a lot of space, as a result of which they kind of got exposed to multiple angles and just losing players one after the other. And Doc was literally helpless in that 1v3 situation in the end. But we're going to keep that behind past us as we head along to the 3rd game of the evening, as final 3 matches after this remain. So make sure, viewers, whoever are watching, get your friends in, because this is looking to be one hell of a night tonight. And right now we've got the flight path trajectory all the way from Gatka towards Mansion, and quite a decent one. I mean, teams are going to take it with open arms. A little bit you know, tricky for the players of for Miracle Vibes and Stalwart to get down to their drop location. At this point, you know, you would also be anticipating a few teams to also start you know, firing on all cylinders, right? They know that maybe their chances are done and dusted, especially for the likes of maybe Raw officials. They want to go a little aggressive, you know, try to just take down every single soul in front of them. But TRZ, they'll have to be very cautious, because they know there's a sliver of chance, because Sitim, well, they haven't been having good games, have they?
Oh yes, Sitim, they've not been having the best of the time today and yesterday as well. But on the other side, TRZ, they do have the capability. Yesterday also in one of the games, they did showcase a good performance. They just need to keep their numbers alive, and look at the circle. Perfect circle for both the Mongolian teams.
Now, what a time for a Southern Circle, to be honest. What a time. I mean, at this point, for Miracle Vibes, we'll say thank you, sir. And just when you were wondering, Shadow, this could be the game for Miracle Vibes, it could certainly be one. But at the same point, you know, my fears might turn true, because they've got Raw officials right beside them. So for Miracle Vibes, they've got a lot to lose. They cannot afford even a single casualty right from the start of the game. And seems like, as you can see on the map feed, already shots are being fired by the players of Miracle Vibes. So I think both the players, both the players from either of the teams, everybody would be eyeing to get past the bridge. And Mad Cat, surely he's going to be hopeful for making it across safely, but refuse, constantly just trying to pepper him down with those bullets. He's just one bullet shy of getting a knock on Mad Cat. But considering Mad Cat has made it to safety, the big question is, does he have any meds on him? No, neither a gun. So all he tried to do was just try to get the vehicle away from For Miracle Vibes and making their lives hell over here. Now the big question is, how do Fumerical Vibes even cross the bridge when they're under constant threat that maybe Mad Cat might take them down? But they look fearless. They're gonna take they're just gonna walk down their way and try to cross over the bridge. Now this really shows that they've got balls of steel.
Question is, Mad Cat, what was he doing in the territory of 4MV? They do know 4MV tends to go towards the side of military base, and every single game is so crucial for the players of TRZ. Maybe Mad Cat went for that vehicle, and in doing so he spotted down the players of 4MV, and Raw officials was trying to make a quick escape, but 4MV, they punished him, and finally he decides not to give away his punish point to the players of 4MV, rather drown to his own death. But 4MV, they have a new enemy that is going to be Skylar's Gaming, rather a new victim, because Skylar's Gaming, they are being dealt with. AJ also goes down, and looks like Nima is the only man standing from their side.
शॉपिंग करके मजा आया। क्रेडिट कार्ड बिल पेमेंट का लास्ट डे। इतनी मेहनत।
Yes, shopping is tough.
मेहनत कमाने में। फिर बिल पेमेंट में अगेन मेहनत क्यों? मतलब पेटीएम का अपने सभी क्रेडिट कार्ड्स एक ही जगह से मैनेज कर। क्रेडिट कार्ड बिल पेमेंट के लिए
पेटीएम करो।
Early rotation coming from the side of Skylar's Gaming. They were not prepared at all for the plus of 4MV, and looks like 4MV, they are getting few free finish points.
Yeah, it's a frag fest for them at this point. You know, they're gonna welcome everybody with open arms, and it's now just not Skylar's Gaming also joining the action. It is also Leo Esports from behind, and Doc, I think he's a little unaware of their presence right now. For Miracle Vibes, Mr. Smokey, look at that from Leo, and finally Sussex breaks open, and Doc in the worst of positions right now, way too open. I do not know what he was thinking over there, but eventually will have to lose out on his life. It's going to be such a difficult task to get him back back alive, right? Because Mr. Smokey, he's gonna pose constant threat. Now East, oh my god, this is going to be brutal, as there you go, right out in the open. And Mr. Smokey, this time make sure he does not miss his shots, as for Miracle Vibes, they are getting decimated one after the other. Apex has no other recourse, will have to back off, and a game where for Miracle Vibes this could have been theirs suddenly is going astray.
All the teams in the danger area, not danger area, in the middle slot in the overall ranking, they are engaging in a fight with the plus of 4MV. Like you said, it's a frag fest. They are enjoying all the frags that are coming in their direction. But Leo Esports, Skylar's Gaming, they are trying to survive somehow, especially Nima on a sliver of HP. Where does he go? On one side, there are the players of Leo Esports. On the other side, there are 4MV. There is nowhere to go, and he has got nothing. No weapon, no healings, nothing at all. And 4MV, yes, they did lose 2 players, but 4 defeat points. And in their home ground, that is military base, there is a team that is already waiting for them, that are going to be the players of I8 and TRZ. They are in a fish in a barrel situation. Bamba enjoying the sim, but he has been taken down by the players of Raw. A perfect knock coming in, and easy confirmation will be there. Now TRZ, they can't do anything. They are pretty much handicapped. And Raw official, they are also being rewarded by a few free finishes over there.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't know. This match is turning really brutal, because the two teams that we anticipated would be really easy for them, that was for Miracle Vibes and Stalwart. I think Flight Path Trajectory just played with their hearts. And now they're in the sudden impasse where Stalwart have finally managed to make it to Novo Ripnoi, but it was delayed. But still won't have a lot of trouble getting their loot done. But I8 seem to have taken control over military base, and Apex and Refuse do not really know what they are walking to. Their own deaths, because T2K, they've also crossed over. We've got Leo Esports, they've also done that. Nima still lying, hiding, because I think he's the sole survivor for his squad, and at this point it's better that he remains over there, because it's better to be in the water rather than pop out, because the moment he does that, it's gonna be every single territory has been taken away by one or the other team, so it's gonna be so difficult for him to survive, especially with nothing on him literally. and no HP at all. IHC also trying to take over the bridge. They also want to rotate inside. Nobody, however, is bridge blocking. I think everybody understands the gravity of the situation. Everybody realizes that at this point, if you're going for a bridge fight, you are going to be, prone to fire from multiple directions, especially from T2K. If they take over those northern hills of the military base, so that's going to be a little tricky for them. And you can see a fight erupting over there. It is T2K versus Team Leo. And Leo have had a really good start to the game, right? Have managed to secure 2 really impactful frags out of Apex, out of Fumerical Vibes, and now have a really good position inside the circle.
Oh yes, they certainly do have. On the other side, TRZ, they're still getting punished by the players of our officials. So many early rotations came in, and few of the teams, well, they were a little late, and now they're getting punished. Yes, we have another fight happening between the players of T2K and Leo Esports. I think we spoke too soon. The numbers of Leos are going down, where Rig has been taken down. Sus also goes down through the hands of Jane over there. Mr. Smokey also bids bye-bye, and looks like Leo Esports are now not looking good, as they have been reduced to only 2 men. Liquid and High Dami so far away. It was a 2v4 situation for them. Yes, they did manage to take down Rig, but it's an easy revival coming in. And T2K, well, they've got 3 defeat points for themselves. And I won't say they have a very good position inside the circle, but yeah, 3 defeat points, good loot, upgrading the loot, few extra resources in their hands. They're looking pretty good in terms of resources.
Yeah, you know that they are, for sure. And this was a much needed fight for T2K also. And considering, they're kind of in the middle, they kind of have got a little bit of a freedom, right? To get a little bit more aggressive, try to collect as many points as they can. And T2K, they've got it in them. It's also an all-star lineup. This is a team that looks really promising. It was just in the finals where we could not see that spell of consistent run. Now, one game, they're looking so good, so promising. There are certain fights where their players shine individually, but when it comes down to just getting results every single game, when it comes down to playing like the players of DRS, that has been missing. Now, talking about DRS, I think they're yet to cross the circle. In fact, they're yet to get inside the southern island, and now they are going to be threatened by a lot of teams, especially their closest and their worst counterpart over here, NB Sports, right beside them. And you've also got the players of High Voltage and Seal coming through. So what DRS has done is they've kind of established a blockade over the bridge. Now, if these teams tend to cross before them, then we might see a few bodies falling down to their hand.
Yeah, right now, Data guys, they have managed to take down one player from the T2K. Yes, T2K was also hoping to have the control of the shoreline, where the players of Dead Eyes are placed perfectly. And Turula, sir, with the DP, is trying to pep a few bullets in their direction. But look at Nima walking in the wrong direction, walking right towards his death, I believe, because Demo is prepared. But no, he's going to retaliate as he takes down Demo over there. Nima, well, 1 defeat point already, because he is all by himself. And IHC, they have the numbers, and looks like Alex is ready with a grenade to lob towards Nima. Can he find the perfect projectile? But no, he gets a confirmation point onto his own teammate. That Nima is going to be very happy. Now he's prepared about the barrage of grenades, hiding in a corner. And Alex is still looking and hoping to take down Nima.
Oh, he's gonna use all his utils, isn't he? At this point, IHC will have to push him over. And Nima, what has he got to lose? But if he can somehow, just break through IHC, take a few more players down, then that would be a huge result for him. But Ziol a little bit faster on his triggers, as IHC have managed to successfully eliminate the final player of Scarlet's Gaming, but have taken a huge loss in the form of Demo. And Alex won't find anything. Barely a few bullets, maybe a few smokes here and there, but that's pretty much it, right? Now IHC have to cut on their losses and run, make a dash inside the zone, as it's gone further down south. And yes, the circle is finally confirmed to be on the southern island. And this is where Illuminate crew, they're in a good position. Even the players of T2K and Dead Eyes, they might lock horns against each other. But for the likes of Fumerical Vibes, I'm really keen to see what can they pull off from here. Mabitex, have got a clean path. They can just make it inside the zone. Now, Stalwart, I think they really understand how the circle works. And considering the fact that they have kept all 4 players alive, I really fancy their chances winning a chicken dinner in this one, because every single time, I've seen a circle like this, Stalwart tends to dominate. They kind of take over. Either they go towards, that little bit of a compound just northeast to military base, that small areas like that mini hospital kind of a camp type area. They take that over, and then what they do is go a little up towards those hills. They play around the circles like that. And Nirzet, alright, he's taking a lot of risk over here. He's anticipating that there will be few teams, there'll be their nearest competitors, DRS, who would show intent on trying to cross the bridge. So if he can put a stop at even 1 or 2 players of DRS, then that could be a huge blow to DRS, and that would be something that proves to be instrumental in Stalwart's path to glory.
On the other side, NB Esports, they were opting for the waterways, and Sitim, they were placed perfectly to bring down their numbers. They get a knock onto Fistboy, and Akaze and Mondo can't do pretty much anything. They're just trying and hoping to cross that river bank, and QB also takes a jump. Along with that, his own team is Desert and Dobu, but Jiro is providing the necessary information from the backlines, still sticking to the main island over there, and finds Akaze in the water, delivers hefty damage, but somehow Akaze is still surviving. On the other side, we have the plus of Seal Esports as well in the water. Becca enjoying the swim. But more than 4 MB, my eyes are going to be onto the plus of Raw Official. But right now, High Voltage and DRS going up against each other. And Malik takes on Gyante. At the same time, rolls over there. Jiggle takes on Killer YTT. And DRS left with only a single player. That is Delta. What can he do at the mercy of the blue? And it's a 1v3 situation.
Yeah, it's kind of a kerfuffle over here. With the way these teams are positioned. High Voltage, DRS. And suddenly DRS are reduced to just Delta. Who's got to do anything and everything to survive, at least get enough position points, because the number of elims that they have is just 1, and that's not going to be enough, especially when they're pursuing that top spot, especially where you've got a team like Stalwart watching over you. And now Wally is the one who's going to be a little ominous over there. He's not going to take any shots though, but has relayed all the valuable information about Stalwart's whereabouts to his teammate, as Mabitex will sort of regroup, unite, and then they would head in to the circle. Now this is one of those circles where teams like I8, they're going to massively favor. I8 has to just hold on, and if they kind of have everything right, and this could be their chicken dinner. Whereas we see Dead Eyes and Seal engaging in a very fierce battle over there. You can see Soulless being dealt by True Love, as T2K also decide to chime in. But the big question is, are they aware of Sitim also trying to close in, inch in the gap? As yes, few losses also for Sitim. Jiro had to be that sacrificial lamb, right? He was watching over them. Took down a couple of players of NB, as they have also been reduced to just Akaza.
Yes, T2K are also aware of Sitim Esports, because it was Sandesh getting the confirmation onto Zero. Now Sitim, yes, deploying the soft cover of the smokes to inch closer inside the circle. They have made it into the mainland, but moving inside the circle and finding a safe spot to hold on to is going to be a bit challenging for the plus of Sitim Esports. At the same time, they are not qualifying right now. They are not in the top 12, or maybe they are at the 12th spot only. Yes, they are on the 12th spot. So yes, they have to bring in the consistency. They have to survive. They have to fight for those placement points and maybe some good elimination points. Stalwart, well, they have made it into the military base island. Good resources onto them, but 4MV, they don't have the numbers to deal with the wrath of Stalwart. They are a 3-man squad. Yes, they did lose on to action at the very early stages of the game. But talking about 4MV, looks like it's only Refuse over there. I can only see Refuse. And it's a 1v3 situation. But Sanchar at the mercy of the blue. Maptex Esports right in front of me and of him, and he's going to strike. Is he? No, he's not going to strike. That was a mature decision because he has to move inside the circle along with his teammates. And Valley, what a way! Okay, kudos to Baron to move his player inside the circle on the top of the vehicle, knock down player, and finally gives a revival. 100 IQ coming in.
I mean, Shadow, honestly, 100 IQ is not going to be enough for these players. They've got to go more than that, and it's quite average. But yes, Mabitex, they decide to make their way inside the circle, and like like anticipated, Stalwart tend to take that southern route, and they have done exactly so. As Dead Eyes guys, quite furious with the way they got eliminated, would be their Nepali counterparts T2K. Getting the job done, and will have no difficulties in getting Jane back alive. And now the circle kind of taking that concentric shift. I8 still in prime position as for Medical Vibes. In fact, barring Stalwart, none of the teams in the top 4 seem to be having a good time. Delta, just the sole player surviving for Medical Vibes with, I guess, just one. Alright, now that's even worse. Now Stalwart has 3. So if Stalwart can get to the top 3 anyhow, then they will build up a significant amount of lead. And now IHC backed Godless, where the players of Raw are just banking up on him, and somehow he has to fight against all odds. Can he get even a single knock? The answer is going to be no, sir. As Raw has successfully managed to avert the threat, as Zol and Alex are far behind.
Well, Raw officials are trying to mitigate all the threat from the Western front because they are looking for the Western control in their favor, and they have the numbers, whereas IHC, Alex with the grenade is trying to bring some opening, bring down the numbers of Raw official, but he is not going to successfully lob the grenade, and now trying to scuttle back to the safety. And Raw officials, will they allow the players of IHC as they're trying to pepper their vehicles with few bullets? But looks like IHC for now they are safe in a better position. They do have a little bit of the ridge, but one of the vehicle was broken, and Zoil comes to the rescue of Alex. But right now they are walking in the direction of Leo Esports. Are they prepared for Leo Esports? Because if not, they are going to be sandwiched, and looks like they takes on High Dami. But Liquid is going to save the day for Leo Esports and eliminate the entirety of IHC. 2 defeat points walked right on the doorstep of Leo Esports.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. They had to perish. And IHC, their run has been just spiraling down, to be honest. But Mabitex, they'll be the ones capitalizing on the situations. And now, Stalwart kind of sense a little bit of danger. Right around a military base, they feel there's someone looking over them as Nirzed does the needful. As for Medical Vibes, just with 4 eliminations, they wipe the dust. And now, well, at this point, right, this is it. Now, Stalwart, they realize that all their nearby threats have been exterminated, barring that final player from DRS. Delta, it all comes down to him. What can he pull off? If he does something out of the blue, if he can somehow manage to get a top 3 finish, then DRS are still going to be in the race, because NB Esports, they've been dealt a huge blow. Same goes for Medical Vibes and Stalwart. This is going to pray DRS that they get eliminated sooner or later. But I8, they're pretty much chilling, right? They've got the best compound over there. They've got some concrete cover to work around with. As, all these teams have a lot of room to play around. It's all about, taking over, over those, king of the hill positions. And I think Stalwart are doing exactly the same. So now Nirzed, IC top. All 3 of their players trying to close in, but Leo has spotted Nirzed. And Stalwart know who their next target is going to be.
Now, Maptex Esports, they definitely know about the position of Stalwart Esports, but rather than picking up this fight, Maptex might be prioritizing the rotation inside the circle where some other team could be waiting for them. Valley is already on the periphery. He can be that sheet anchor to bring his teammates inside the circle. On the other side, we have the players of Raw officials still having the complete Western control in their favor. They're looking very good and strong in terms of the position in the epicenter. We have the players of Leo Esports, but all they have is a little shack to hold on to, and they don't have the numbers. So Stalwarts are looking good if they manage to move inside this circle, but that journey is not going to be easy because they might have to cross paths. either with I8 or maybe Raw officials, and from the looks of it, looks like they're heading in the direction of Raw officials. Are the players of Raw prepared for it? Because looks like one player has been knocked down. They are going for the rescue mission. They are not prepared for Stalwart Esports right now.
Yeah, and there you go. Yetauta dealing with Icy yet again. The signs, the semblances of the previous, last night's final wrangle coming through again. And Stalwart really need to stay strong over here. Top's just kind of trying to push it, but this is where Illuminate, out of nowhere, they come chiming into the battle. And now Stalwart Esports are reduced to just ashes and have been eliminated at the 6th spot. And this is dreadful for them. And a little bit of a smile if Delta still survives, because he surely must have read on the kill feed the Stalwarts, they have been dealt with. I do not know if that was the wisest of idea, but that was something that had to be done. Stalwart were kind of out of options and they had to make the push. Little did they know that Raw was prepared for them. And now we are down to the top 5 teams over here. I8 in prime position for getting the chicken dinner. Rig just hiding in that murky smoke. Yetauta spots him out. Grenade doing a little bit of damage, and the second one might just get the job done, as there you go. Finds that knock, and T2K must be cussing themselves as a guess. Needs some cover fire, but his teammate is far away from him.
Oh yes, he is far away, and with that, Rig has been eliminated, leaving Sandesh all by himself. Now the entire control is in the favor of Raw officials, the Western. In fact, it was kind of a deja vu moment. Last wrangle also, the players of Stalwart Esports rushed directly towards Raw officials, where Yetauta was able to bring down their numbers. This time also same thing kind of happened. Raw officials, well, they're left with 2+, but map tags, they have the numbers advantage, and their next victim could be the players of Leo Esports, because Kese is already pointing his crosshairs towards him, but from the uphill, looks like IA, their presence has been shown to Maptex over there. But now they're just waiting for the next circle shift. That is when all the chaos will begin, all the hell will lose broke. But Maptex, yes, they are looking good right now. Baron, along with his teammate, having the complete eastern control. Even the split that is coming from the side of I8, can it favor this situation as Sky comes in with the mini shots, takes down Leo over there, but Kese is going to retaliate, expose himself, and now Sky deals with Kese as well.
Oh yeah, and just when we felt that this could have been the game for Mabitex, they had real good edge control, and suddenly the numbers are starting to dwindle. Baron, he's got his attention elsewhere as Sky capitalizes the situation. In fact, it's a 2-2 split coming in from I8, and that is enough to get the job done. Now just looking forward to explode the vehicles, and that is exactly what they do. And Viper will have no trouble in getting himself back alive. But look at that. Claw, he's just scratching his way through, just proning down, inching the gap in. And this is something that Illuminate might not have been prepared for. And this is the point where I8 really need to be watchful, because one wrong step and they could be done for.
That can certainly happen, but right now Sky with a grenade is looking for some kind of opening. But before that, Sandesh with the Info 16 takes down Yetauta, gets a confirmation point as well, leaving Claw all by himself and surrounded by the players of IA. But he takes on Rufus over there. First glimpse, first bullet coming in, gets a confirmation as well. At the same time, he knows exactly where Sky is. Now Claw, he has to reposition himself, otherwise any minute Sky will be throwing those grenades, and that is exactly what he's doing. He's still surviving, he's still holding on to the fort. Raw officials, they have made it into the top 4, but again a grenade comes from the side of Sky. But Claw, he's just trying to scuttle back to the safety, repositioning himself time and time again, but Sky is having the upper hill advantage onto him.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, Raw, they're definitely digging in deep, right? Especially considering they are the team at the extreme bottom of the ocean. They still have managed to make it to the top 4 again. And they will have to do anything and everything to try to make it to the top 3. And Illuminate crew, they were looking really promising up until the point Ufis gets taken down. But they still do have that high ground advantage, which they'll have to massively put in to their own favor. Because Sky has to somehow deal with Claw, because kind of is always threatened, has to stay on his toes, because any single moment. Maybe he's dealing with the players of Leo and Claw might strike. So getting a little bit of a reinforcement might not hurt him because they realize they need to clear off that western angle. And if they can successfully do that, then it could help them in getting another chicken dinner for them. Day 2 had not been the best for Illuminate, but seems like in the final day, they could write their own script. As Leo Esports, in a little bit of a sticky situation, they have to get themselves out from those little shacks over there, because you kind of get a lot, you kind of get hindered a lot, and you kind of are susceptible to so many grenades just coming in at your direction. As Wally, kind of the lonesome player surviving so far, Mabitex has already gotten a chicken dinner, and now it's going to be a little far-fetched. Still do have the Grodze though, just hoping that could get a few knocks here and there. But I8, they're kind of traversing through the terrain every single time. Now look at this play. It's a 1-1-1. I kind of cannot understand what Viper's intention there is, because he's at a very lower ground. All he can do is maybe if somebody's pushing at Nova or Sky, could try and provide the cover fire. Had he gotten a little bit of altitude over there, then things could have been better. But at the same time, I8 just wants to keep as much of territory control as they can, as the final fight seems to be breaking down any moment from now.
Yeah, it's kind of a stalemate situation. All these teams are just waiting for the next circle shift, and maybe just waiting for the opponent to commit any kind of a mistake. Valley, he's having the god gun, that is Grodza, deadliest gun in the close range, and Raw officials, looks like Claw position was revealed. He has been dealt with, he has been eliminated, but still a good run from the side of Raw officials in this one. Now we are left with only 3 teams and 6 players remaining. The split, like you said, coming from the side of I8 could be troublesome for the players of Leo, because yes, they do have the height advantage. The grenades are already being exchanged, but no connection whatsoever. On the other side, Liquid is also trying to retaliate with a grenade. Haidami is still hiding over there. And look at Sky, he's crawling his way, inching closer to get some information onto the position of Leo's. But Valley, he can be that ugly thorn, because he's being so silent up until now, not making any kind of sound, not giving any sound cue, but he needs to be aware of Nova X, because look at the flank angle which Nova X is holding on to. No one has any idea about his position, and this was so close, and finally Haidami takes down Sky over there. Sky shows himself, and now he has been punished and dealt with.
He was a dead man walking. And this exactly happens in the final circle if you do not have our teammates near you to kind of trade you off. And this is now doable for Leo Esports, as Sky will get some aid, as Nova gets an important knock on Liquid. Now this completely changes the dynamics, because Haidami is left to fend for himself over here. With the revive on Sky, I8 have taken complete control over this game. Haidami just hiding behind that little box, but for how long can they do that, as now he's exposed, and the grenade gets the job secured for Illuminate crew, as they manage to get yet another chicken dinner. Day 1 was amazing for them. Day 2, we saw that little bit of a downfall, and come at day 3, the final day, Illuminate crew bounce back, getting a very valuable winner chicken dinner. But that's not going to change a lot of things up top, because all the top 4 teams, just barring Stalwart, kind of went down pretty early. And Stalwart also, I mean, eliminated at the 6th spot with just 2 finishes. I do not know if that's going to be enough to build that lead. But with this chicken dinner, Illuminate crew get that 9th position for themselves, and are going to be enjoying this win. Now, what a change of events that was in Erangel, right? Just when we were thinking the battle between the top four was brewing really hot and spicy, suddenly Illuminate Crew out of nowhere come in to back the chicken dinner. It was an absolute horror show for the likes of American Vibes for what happened to them. I mean, gotta talk about that. We will do, but we'll have to take a quick look at who the MVP of this game is going to be. I think it was kind of a comfortable win for Eliminate Crew. They held on to their position really well and had no trouble taking out the rest. But for now, I mean, Sandesh has to be the MVP for his team. 8 eliminations for this lad, and we could see T2K being in the thick and thin of things right from the very start, getting into a lot of fights. 914 points of damage, 8 eliminations. T2K, they're gonna be happy with how Sandesh performed.
Oh, certainly, 8 elimination perfect starts coming in, and Sandesh has saved the day for his team so many times. In fact, Yeto Uta, the minute the players of Stalwart Esports rushed towards the side of Raw officials, it was Yeto Uta to bring down their numbers, to bring the first opening, and 4 elimination to his name, being in the top players. And Sky is there with 2 elimination of his own, but a pretty high damage number. So all these players did play to the perfection. But yes, T2K, they were trying to have the complete northwestern control under the favor until Raw officials decided to go a little north from the south, and they kind of ruined the game for the players of T2K Esports. They did manage to have the entire control, but before getting eliminated, T2K, well, they got too many elimination points in their favor.
Yeah, and I think it's time to take a quick look at the match rankings, because that's going to give us a slight picture of what's really going on. See, Stalwart, there you go. I mean, just 4 points out of that game, and DRS could accrue maybe 1 or 2. Because now what has happened is Mabitex and Fumerical Vibes, thankfully to those early 4 eliminations, they're still in the race, right? Still have managed to secure a point extra than Stalwart Esports. Mabitex, I think they've been having a really good day. Leo Esports also brought it down to the wire, managed to get that second position, but Raw officials, heart goes out for them, because those 12 points shows the hunger, the fight that they're showcasing. But NB Esports have to settle with just 1, DRS with just 2, and this is where I think we still have 3 more games to decide who is going to be the winner. I think nobody seems to have built up a huge lead, and that is going to be such a huge respite for all the teams at the top 4. But Skylight's Gaming, I mean, Niba, all he could do was just I think take one of the players of IHC down, and I think that was demo, but it was alright. I mean, towards the end, neither of these teams could walk out with extra points to their name. Dead Eyes guys were pretty pissed about how things went out for them, but it was what it was, right? But now we head in to the final matches of Miramar, Sanhok and Erangel respectively, with the next one being Miramar. We did see Mabitex get a chicken dinner, the Mongolians did strike, and then Sanhok was also taken over by Stalwart. And Erangel, a surprise I-8 victory, leaves us with those final 3 games where anything could really happen. And at this point, we have made our predictions, folks. And for all you viewers, we need to know from your side, who do you think is going to win? Because now this is such a pivotal situation. We are at such a impasse where a single chicken dinner for either of these teams from top 4 will entirely change the dynamics of how things are going to look. Because if a team like let's say DRS gets a chicken dinner over here and the remainder 3 get eliminated pretty early, then we're looking at 15-16 points of difference being built up, and that is going to be so tough to overcome with just 2 matches remaining, and out of which 1 being Sanhok. So it will be the final game Erangel that will decide the fate of all these 4 teams, at least whoever gets to be the champion. But the race for the top 12 is still on, especially with Raw getting those valuable 12 points. They're also just clawing and scratching their way inside the top 12.
Oh, they are fighting with tooth and nail. They are trying so hard since yesterday to qualify for the SAC championship. Yes, Raw officials are strong in Erangel, at the same time Miramar as well. But like you said, with only 3 games remaining, in the last 2 games, we can have certain bullseye target on few teams, because yes, that is the time for the rivalry to go for to go against each other, to go into each other's drop locations and have those drop collisions. So yes, these things can happen in the last 2 games. especially in the last triangle that is going to be so unpredictable. So this is a very crucial game for all the teams, whether you are contesting for the top position, whether you are contesting for the qualification of SSC. You have to have a very good performance in this one. If you manage to have a decent performance in the remaining 3 games, same goes for Sitim also. Sitim also needs those points, because the way in Senok they were taken down pretty early in the game, even they need those points.
I mean, yes, City Esports, I think the way they started off their grand finals, we thought it's going to be an easy one for them. They would easily qualify to the top 12, and they did manage to get a chicken dinner early on in day number 1. But ever since, it has been a road down. So at this point, somewhere down the line, Sitim have to redeem themselves. Miramar has been one of their go-to maps where they have kind of achieved majority of the success as we venture along into the deserts, and we find, or rather on our path to find whoever gets the chicken dinner over here will have a major advantage, at least out of those top 4 teams that we have in front of us. So as we head in, it's a decent default flight path. We are looking from water treatment towards Los Higos. None of these teams are going to have a lot of trouble dropping down below. Today, the first zone that we witnessed in the first game of Miramar was a little bit down south, and it went towards Minas Day Valley, somewhere around that region, or a little bit eastern to that side. And we did see, well, the chicken dinner went to Mabitex, but this time, I really want to see something happening around Crater Fields. What about you?
Oh, I would love to see something happening towards the northern side, be it OSS, Crater Fields, even the territory around Crater Fields is not so easy to play around. We have certain ridges, certain higher grounds, certain lower dips, so that area itself is not easy to play around with, and at the same time, so many teams don't have so much information. If you're a team dropping towards Puerto Pirasi or towards southern side, you are not so much aware of the geography of Crater Fields, but looks like your wishes are not going to be granted because Crater Fields is out of the picture. But maybe we can have a circle somewhere towards Power Grid. That could be a possibility. If that happens, well, the players of Leo, they are going to be very happy.
Well, I mean, at this point, yeah, few teams like, let's say, Starward, if they can successfully take over those hills, they're going to be really happy about that. DRS, I think Sitim had always been posing a constant threat, but things seem to be a little different over here. Sitim, they've decided they'll be sitting it out at Los Leones I-8. However, they are not showing signs of getting towards Los Leones. Maybe they will eventually, but they're kind of looting out at the, just those exterior parts of Los Leones. That is what their intention is, which is kind of visible right now. Leo Esports, we have always seen them. They kind of go around with that spread, 1-1-1-1. They loot, and then they sort of rendezvous with each other, and then they kind of tend to take another position. High Voltage, however, they've taken over Picardo. So they're going to be really happy with where they are right now, or they need to get their loot done. And this particular circle, I think, kind of tends to end mostly around the eastern side of El Pozo, sometimes around the Picardo Hills. So it's going to be interesting as to see who the circle favors in this one game, because IHC, I think they have shown to be one of those teams that has kind of really faded out with every passing day in the grand finals, right? They were kind of in the top 4, and then as the days passed, they kind of went down, and at the point where they're not at the best of positions, to be honest, way down below. So not where they're supposed to be. They're still safe. They will still qualify for the SC Championship, but not the way I would have seen IHC done that.
100% agree. The way they started the grand finals, day number 1, IHC was performing really good. In one of the send-off, they came on the 4th spot. Then again, they were delivering good performances. Yesterday also not so shabby, but today, IHC, even in the previous game, they were in the bottom 4 in the match ranking. So yes, IHC They will qualify for the SAC, but they really need to work on few things, the mistakes which are being happening, so that they are looking super strong for the SAC. But talking about this particular team, 4MV as well, last Miramar looked like is the game for the plus of 4MV, considering their drop location, the circle, it was the way it was formed. But right now 4MV, this still can have the complete southern control in the favor, because the only team that is coming from the southern side are the plus of raw officials, which 4MV are aware of. So they are going to be prepared about the plus of raw officials. On the other side, talking about a team that is in a very good spot are the players of NB Esports. Even NB Esports, they are also looking for a chicken dinner fixes, because yes, they're showcasing a consistent performance. Previous Miramar, they came so very close to getting that chicken dinner. So this time, maybe they'll be looking forward to it, because the El Pozo entire control is in the hands of NB Esports.
Yeah, I mean, for NB Sports, apart from that first Miramar game, the next two haven't really gone the way they have planned, right? So it's been a little bit of a setback for them, and this is perfectly the time to redeem themselves. This is the exact game where they have to get a few points on board, at least 10 to still keep them in the race for that number 1 spot. But NB Sports, I mean, what they did in Miramar, they will have to replicate that yet again. Now, talking about the others, right, the counterparts, especially Stalwart. I mean, Stalwart seem to be surrounded from all sides. Now, we've seen Stalwart in multiple situations, just, especially in Erangel, they kind of tend to play around the edges. So it's kind of really interesting to see what sort of an approach we get to see from their side in this particular game. But talking about the rest of the pack, if you take a look at Skylights Gaming, a team that was absolutely dominating day number 2, suddenly have vanished from the face of earth at day number 3. Just when we thought, if Skylights gets to a really good start, I think they could also have been one of the contenders to take the top spot. But seems that's not the case, as High Voltage getting some crucial information there on the players of Leo. And will not take any shots, will not threaten them, because there's no point. Even if they get a knock, they really cannot go in for the push and get the squad wiped. And for now, I mean, it still could be anybody's circle as long as they're secured over there. If High Voltage could get control over the southern Picado Hills, then that could be really fruitful for them. But at the same time, it is getting contested. Maybe Seal Esports has shown some intentions to mark that as their territory.
Could be possible, because they are also in the close proximity. But talking about T2K Esports, this team has stepped up. The way they are picking fights this time, they are winning majority of them. They are getting good elimination points. Yes, they are not able to come in top 5 in every game, but still, they are at least getting good points in the favor. Consistent performance is coming from their side. But as compared to week number 3, the way they were dominating the entire lobby in the league plays, that T2K is still missing. For TRZ, well, last game didn't go in their favor. They were trying to go from the waterways where they were picked off, and in fact, TRZ became the first team to be eliminated from the lobby. So yeah, TRZ, they are also hoping to deliver a very good performance in this one, because even their qualification is at stake. But talking about raw officials, this is a team that is fighting with tooth and nail to qualify for the SAC. The way they placed in the last game as well, 12 points to their name. All they need is a chicken dinner. They are hoping for that chicken dinner, and if they get it in this one, maybe they can qualify. The chances of qualifying can increase a tad bit.
Yeah, I think for raw officials, they've been hitting the markers right, especially in the previous game. Made a really quick rotation down south and ensured they went out for fishing pretty early. And who were the victims? I think it was none other than Kunio TRC. They were kind of left stranded, and as a result of which, the players of Raw managed to get a really good game. And the big question, however, is it going to be too late for them? Because at this point, they have no room for error, right? One bad game, and it is done and dusted for Raw officials. And that would just kind of break my heart, because we've seen this team, especially from the last angle yesterday to here, they've been getting some decent points on board. It was just that first day that they kind of completely messed up. And this is the circle shift that I was talking about, right? This kind of goes towards the southern Picado Hills, where Seal has already established the dominion, where there's some slight room where either Sitim or High Voltage could benefit from there. But High Voltage, knowing them, they're not going to come out of their compounds just yet. They've got the God building. They could, just remain over there. But 4 Miracle Vibes seem to, show intentions of trying to contest that. At the same time, we've got a plethora of teams trying to get in close, and this is not going to be good news for the likes of High Voltage or maybe the others. Even for Medical Vibes might just get caught in the crossfires as Leo. They've got one of their players down, but nothing much to worry about. He's in safe covers. He'll have no trouble getting back on his toes.
And Mr. Smokey is back. At the same time, Leo Esports, the way this team has improved their gameplay in the grand finals, because I do remember on the very first day they were struggling. Their players were getting picked off out in the open. They were not able to provide the necessary cover fire during the initial stages, during the mid rotations. They were getting off guard. But now Leo Esports, yes, they are still playing in the split. But this time, it's a 2v2 split that is working in their favor. And they know when to regroup. They have read onto their opponent's rotation. So this time, they are looking much prepared. And every time, Leo Esports find themselves in a very good spot inside the circle. Now also, they're having the control of those Picardo Hills, scouting the area, moving a little bit more towards the center of the circle. But talking about 4MB, well, they have NB Esports in the close proximity, but nothing is really going to happen. NB Esports, they are going to mind their own business and find a good compound for themselves. So nothing happening towards the side of 4MB. But somewhere else on the map, looks like the players of DRS are suffering because their numbers have been brought down to 3 men.
Yeah, I think this is not good news for DRS. And this was ought to happen. And they have been facing those constant threat every single time, right? Trying to get inside the circles in Miramar. And now, especially with 1 man down, they have to play with 3. It's still fine. They can still do that. But now they will not get that much of a room and space to just move around, as Sitim managed to get a knock for themselves. And they're going to be happy. As many knocks, that is going to be really helpful in them trying to solidify this spot in the top 12. But as things are right now, not a lot of fights have broken out, and we can feel the intensity of these teams, the pressure that they are under. And I'm still kind of hoping to see the wild dogs to kind of just come out of nowhere, just try to cause the chaos in the wheel, and then just destroy the dreams of a few of those top teams. But Stalwart, like you can see, they've taken over the Picardo Hills. High Voltage have gone a little down south, and there you go. We had just said about a few iterations of this circle, right? One of which was over those southern Picardo Hills, and that seems to come true. As Raw, I don't know, whoever their IGL is making some really good calls over there. Again at the center spot. But that is where things get a lot more difficult. Now, a lot of teams would be trying to contest for that position. Now, especially for Medical Vibes moving around, for Medical Vibes need to exercise some caution. They need to be disciplined about their way of approach, because look at them. They've got Leo in front of them. From their backlines, you've got Skylights Gaming. Any single moment, even Stalwart could knock at their doors. And it's going to be really a tough task for Stalwart to try and get inside the circle with so many teams keeping watch, as Precious, he is on the verge of losing his precious life over there, because Deadeyes, they have to tuck their tails and run. No other options. If they kind of try to force that revival, they're going to face more losses. And now to make things worse, even True Love, he's fallen down.
Things are not looking easy for the players of Deadeyes. Even making an escape was not so easy. They lost few players, and Slayer Sir is trying, but other players of T2K going to hunt for them? I don't think so. Jane with the vehicle gets a confirmation point onto Turulav Sir. And TRS, even they are down to 3 men, and Deadeye is down to 2 men. T2K, they are still having the edge control under their favor. They are aware of the rotation that is coming from the side of Maptex Esports, and looks like Siyog is ready, and the reinforcement is also coming in. The call has been made, and Siyog is waiting for the player to be out in the open. First clip, first shots coming from the side of Siyog, but no connection whatsoever. Now Maptex, they are aware of the players of T2K, but Rick can be the cheeky player who can go for the flank angle onto Maptex, because he is a little far away from his teammates. Now grenades are coming in, and Valley just survived that grenade.
Oh yeah, I mean at this point, Maptex have just that advantage of playing around the ridges. still under that dip though. If T2K can take over the hills and maybe Rig or Chain could get the control over the eastern part of where Mabitex are, could just try to pincer them through, and that could be a death trap for Mabitex. But we know Mabitex have been looking really sharp, really good in this particular map especially. So they should have a few tricks up their sleeves. As Sandesh applying constant pressure with all those grenades just hitting right over them. But one good knock and T2K, we might see them just charging in. Now the Molotovs have been flung, trying to flush the players out of their hiding, but it's kind of in vain, right? Because Mabitex have so much room to play around this spot. And Kessie, he has to keep watch. And Rig has done exactly what I was hoping him to do. But Chain is in a really twisted position right now. If he could change his spot and go and assist Rig and try to get a different angle, then maybe T2K could be able to see this through. But seems like they want to escape. They want to make a run to get themselves inside the circle, because it's pointless trying to break open a fight over here, as Rig has found the big sharks in the ocean, and that's going to be in the form of DRS. Two more players getting taken down, and Killer. Oh, that's just dreadful for DRS at this point.
DRS, they were also trying to make the rotation from the eastern side. All these teams, look how busy the eastern area is of the circle. And the Deadeye guys, Slayer Sir, Gyante, the remaining players from these two teams, and looks like Slayer Sir lobs a perfect grenade towards Gyante. And with that DRS, they have been eliminated with just a single point to their name. Even Slayer Sir, he's not in the best of position right now, but Mabitex, they are coming under heavy fire from the side of TRZ as Steel Shot blows up the vehicle and eliminates the entirety of Mabitex esports. Kudos to the third party that came in. But now we are left with 14 teams, 2 teams already eliminated. Even Stalwart Esports are also opening things against High Voltage, where Assassin has been taken down. Even Zed has been down, so trades are coming back and forth. And IC takes on Praveen over there. Now High Voltage are left with only 2 players.
Yeah, High Voltage seemed like they could prove a dent, and indeed, Malik, this knock is going to be really crucial, as the numbers of Stalwart have been diminished, as High Voltage have successfully managed to eliminate Stalwart. And this is a huge shock, especially with DRS and Stalwart getting taken down so early, as IHC decide to just knock on the doors of Sitim as Desert. He's got to defend with all his life and all his might, as Ziol decides to charge in with the DBS, as Desert wanting to reposition himself but will not be spared. Show no mercy as he falls down, as Sitim lose out on one of the other players, as Godless, he's in a whole different world of his own, and he will get knocked out. There was no chance he was getting back alive, as Sandesh will just charge in first, sort of rejuvenate, get his HP back, and then could get the confirmation. But regardless, a big storyline over here, folks, that DRS and Stalwart, both these teams have taken EL pretty early into the game. Now a golden opportunity for the likes of Miracle Vibes and NB to build up a lead. And this is the moment where Stalwart and DRS both must be cussing themselves of what they have done, as T2K deciding to fire on all cylinders, make IHC their next target. But Slayer Sir out of nowhere finds a knock on Rig. Now this completely changes the equation of how T2K wants to approach this fight. But Sandesh successfully finds a knock on Ziol. But there you go, Sealed Soulless comes out of nowhere and gets a knock on Sandesh. What is happening? Bodies are flying left, right, and center.
It's all chaotic, it's all chaotic. Everyone is fighting for the eastern control, and looks like T2K Jane has been dealt with as he was running for the revival onto his fallen teammates. It's a blessing in disguise for the players of IHC, as Zemo has successfully revived Zoil over there. Now T2K, they have enough time to go for the crucial rescue missions. All this commotion is happening on the eastern front, and in all this commotion, I8 again they find themselves at the perfect spot. They have the entire southern control in their favor, but IHC, the worries are still not over. The numbers are not in their favor, as Yog along with Ring are trying to lob grenades and find some over there. Can he drop the perfect grenade? But no, he's going to resort to his Info 164 glimpse and takes hefty HP out of Zoil over there and finally takes him down, leaving Demo all by himself. And finally, A came to the perfection in the hands of CEO and IHC. They have been eliminated with 2 eliminations. This time, T2K, they are looking hungry for the elimination points.
Yeah, T2K, I think they're out for blood and they're going to seem to stop at nothing at all. Seal was kind of proving themselves to be a threat for all the other teams, but seems like they're under heavy fire as Sancheer, barely with a sliver of HP, has to come out of his cover as Claw goes charging at his direction. And there you go, 4 finishes secured for Team Raw, and could be very crucial, much needed squad wipe for them as they kind of inch in closer to make their dreams of qualifying to the SAC turn true. As T2K, I mean, they were proving to be really deadly, really dangerous, but forgot that Sitim was sitting right next to IHC. And just when, Team T2K recuperated from that situation, they got wiped out in a jiffy.
Oh, they certainly did, but Assassin at the mercy of the Blue, what can he do? The minute he comes out in the open, Skylar's Gaming are ready to strike, and it's better to go by the play zone rather than giving away your finish point to the opponent. But let's see what's gonna happen. How many first hits does he have in his hand? Because Skylar's Gaming, well, they are not moving away. They are still looking towards Assassin. All he has is a little shack and just few meters out in the open to cover, which is not going to be easy. And with AJ blowing up the vehicle, it's going to be a tedious task for him. On the other side of the map, well, Sitim, well, their victory was short-lived because QB has been dealt by Woofies over there. I8, they are having the entire southern control, and Sitim, even they are down to a single player.
Yeah. At least as of now, good news for all the NB fans. And the same can be said for Medical Vibes, as they are set on a war path, a path to create history as no team in the previous 6 seasons of the PMPL SA has managed to win both the league stages and the grand finals. And if for Medical Vibes did manage to do so today, they're gonna write history. As look at them, the tension is definitely there. This is not the Medical Vibes we are acquainted to see. Usually at this point they would have made a push on Kunyo TRC already, but now they are playing with utmost caution. They know how important this game is and they know how crucial it is for them, and the same can be said for the likes of NB Esports, who have had a rather different style of approach. They're much more balanced as a team. They really know when to notch it down a little, and that is exactly what they've done. They've got a really good spot inside the circle. They've got nothing to worry about. With For Medical Vibes, they finally have to make a move, finally have to make a dash inside the zone. Now, what is going to trouble them? Well, we've got I8 on their eastern side, and now if they decide to take a fight against Kunyo TRC, they might be in for some bashing from the right side. But Sky seems to have been taken down, seems to have been taken a blow. So I8 have their attention divided right now. Now this is a perfect time for Medical Vibes to maybe spot one of the players out of Kunyo TRC and instantly make that push.
Oh, they can make the push, but NB Esports and TRZ, they are being silent for now. They have the circle, they have got everything. On the other side, I'm worried about the players of Leo Esports, because one side, Skylar's Gaming, they are aware of their position. On the other side, on the uphill, we have the players of Raw Officials, and looks like AJ wants to have this fight. Raw Officials, they have a good ridge under their control. They do have good covers for them. And Leo Esports, all they have is an open concrete. And AJ, that smoke is already inching closer as Leo Esports, this vehicle steady, are moving inside the circle. Even AJ has spotted down Zordi from the side of Raw Officials, but Zordi is going to take down Leo Esports, one player left with a sliver of HP, and AJ is going to capitalize on that. And Zordi also goes down. Trades are coming in at the same time. Skylar's Gaming, can they find the confirmation? Because at such distance, you can definitely knock the players. But getting the confirmation is not going to be easy. But Haitami, well, you can certainly get a confirmation onto him.
At this point, Leo Esports, they've kind of been proving themselves as the wildcards, right? Every single time you kind of tend to discard them, they somehow come back swinging. But this time is not the case for Haitami. Caught a little astray from his pack and is being dealt with. But now this is one of those knocks that maybe For Medical Vibes were waiting for on a player of I8. And all they've got to do is just pick the right fight. Right? They cannot afford to lose on numbers right now. They need a few elimination points nonetheless. And they've been silent so far. They haven't been getting into a lot of action, which we've seen them doing. And just when we were talking, Doc gets taken down. And things start looking really south as NB have finally managed to take down East. The danger man from For Medical Vibes. And now hell's falling under. The skies are falling down for them. As For Medical Vibes, not just they need to get their players back up, they somehow still need to manage to find a good position inside the circle, especially with them being so exposed. There you go. East had just gotten revived up, but I8, they're gonna start punishing them.
Oh, they are going to punish, but right now our officials are inching closer to the plus of Sitim Esports, where Jiro just survived that Molotov, but Claw comes with a buggy along with his teammate Yeta Uta with a UMP in his hands, and Jiro, can he clutch it out? It's a 1v2 situation where the certain team is at the back lines, but before that Raw officials are going to deal with him, and Sitim, after getting 5 elimination, gets bye-bye on the 8th spot. Now Raw officials, they have the control of the eastern periphery of the circle. They had the numbers, but I8, they're susceptible to those grenades that might come in from the side of Claw over there. And looks like Sky is going to reposition himself inch closer inside the circle, but Boofies is still at a very weak spot. Along with that, they have 4MB also on the other side. So I8 a little bit in a shaky position right now. They have to find a good spot for themselves. On the other side, TRZ comes in and finds a confirmation point onto the plus of 4MB. Even 4MB, they're not looking so good. Looks like they are at the mercy of the blue.
Right now, I mean, things are getting so much exhilarating at this point, because this is pretty much NB Esports' game to lose. And For Medical, TRZ, they are defending with all their might, and there you go. Apex decides to close in, but For Medical Vibes, they have bitten the dust. And NB Esports, a golden chance to secure the chicken dinner and get a huge lead, because the other 3 teams, they have been taken down, and not with a lot of points, bear in mind. And if NB Esports manages to get a chicken dinner out of this one, everything is gonna change, and they could write their own script. TRZ, in fact, they are defending with their lives over here. Viper, he's got a very big task ahead. He needs to revive 2 of his players, needs to get a decent cover inside the circle. But Mad Cat, he's out for blood. He wants those crucial kills, and if they can do that, Kunio TRZ will be in a really good spot, at least to qualify for the SA Championship.
Well, certainly we can, because they have the numbers. They are having a very good momentum. 73 points already in their favor, and NB Esports right in their crosshairs. Rare X, perfect moment. He shied away, went into the covers. Now they do have a good compound. On the other side, NB's Mondo globs a perfect grenade, takes on Rare X over there. This is a moment where they have to go for the revival. On the other side, Skylar's Gaming do a perfect third party as they take on Seth from the side of NB Esports. Now NB, they have to deal with Skylar's. At the same time, they have to deal with Kunyo TRZ. They are pretty much in a sandwich situation. Thankfully, they do have a good compound to the name. Sek is again back on his feet. Nothing to worry about. Their numbers are still intact. They do have a good position inside the circle. Everything is working in their favor. They just have to defend and get those elimination points and a chicken dinner. A very important chicken dinner, but it is so crucial for the plus of TRZ and Raw officials to get this one in their pockets.
So they have to hold on to their nerves. They cannot let this game go away from them. Skylights Gaming, Raw, everybody just hell-bent on taking them down, as Yeta Uta decides to fight against the monsters that Skylights Gaming are decided to charge in at their direction. In fact, Raw trying to pick a fight against them, but could be exposed to attack from the side of NB Esports, as AJ somehow bobbing and weaving, trying to keep himself alive. But for how long is the big question. As Sek manages to find a knock far away, that will be on Nova. But coming back to this fight, Raw, they are showing intent. They want to go in, but Zodi can only find one, as there you go. He gets traded by Fistboy, in fact, from the backlines, as No Fear and Mafia Ninja, they have to somehow defend this area. They have to somehow keep them at bay, as Raw still trying to kind of rethink their strategies as No Fear decided to initially charge in, but at the end kind of retreats. So a little bit of a hiatus, not the way we wanted in this particular fight, but for now it's a little bit of an intense situation brewing up as the Molotovs have been laid down, but nobody's burning as No Fear finally finds another crucial one, and yet Auta falls down to his misery as Claw finally remains. One good grenade and 3 players from Skylights Gaming could just get decimated in thin air, but it's gonna be Fistboy who does the dealing there, and now it is all down to AJ. Now the perfect time for Claw to come out, but not necessary at all, as elsewhere we see TRG dealing with I8, where Skylights have been dealt by NB Esports. Now they know that Claw is the lonesome player surviving. The next potential threat is going to be Kunio TRG, of course. Mondo deals with Claw, and now we are down to a 4v4 showdown between Kunio TRG and NB Esports as they decide to change everything, change the dynamics, the gravity in the overall standings, as Rare deciding to charge in as it's a 2v2 split going in for the players of NB as they defend with all their life.
They have to defend, and it's so important for TRC to get this chicken dinner, to get those 10 placement points, extra 4 elimination points if they want to qualify for the SAC. The smokes are down, the grenades from the hands of Mondo brings down the number of TRC as RareX also goes down. No, leaving Mad Cat and Steel Shot. Even Mad Cat goes down to the hands of Mondo, and now NB Esports, this is the moment to strike, but last player was fighting, bring down one player from NB Esports, but not for very long, as NB Esports, they reign supreme and get a winner chicken dinner for themselves.
And this is exactly what they wanted. This was exactly what NB Esports needed, and we knew that Miramar game was their sweet spot, and they had to convert that, and so did they do it. And with that being said, with the other 3 teams barely managing to secure any points, and I think the 13-14 finishes chicken dinner, they are gonna propel themselves high up the leaderboard with a very good difference being created between the rest of the pack. And there you have it. Well, 13 eliminations, 23 points secured, and production has done a good job hiding their rank, but we know where they are placed right now.
Oh, certainly, we don't know. This much maths even I can do.
Oh my goodness. What